people want to hear my Macho Man Randy Savage voice on
It
stream.
says we're live again.
Welcome
says
back.
We're live again. Next time, I'm not even gonna try and fix the chat. Next time, we're just living with it.
Welcome back to Shit Show RS. Oh, wait, I'm still okay.
Gotta reopen.
Y'all don't need to see all that.
what did you have open?
Just Twitch, but still.
Okay.
I don't want them to know who I follow. That's
Who
my
was
business.
talking about Beyblade?
Who was talking about Beyblade? Is that what someone said?
Yeah, man.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Oh.
Wait, so the same we can use the same chat window?
Yeah, it should. I mean, I didn't pop out chat though. I just have it up on the page.
I just repopped it out. Yeah, chat's working. Shitty.
All right, let me do a test here. YouTube side is working. On Twitch side, is Twitch side coming up on stream?
Can't
please, for the love of God, yes, please.
If it doesn't work, I will subtly read them again.
No, you cannot do Also, Pat, your camera's not on.
Again, it's better for everyone. I'll just put I'll put Twitch up there.
He's mad because he had a bunch of porn tabs open. Trey, you'll see it at the beginning of the podcast.
Can we just start the day over?
Make an assumption.
I can attempt to.
Can y'all see that?
Yeah, we can see that, but I would rather see you.
Let me zoom in. There you go. Now they can see it.
Too small. I can't see
I will never allow the Twitch people to not be heard.
I've got this easy, Pat. All I have to do is pop out the chat and add it to the stream. That's what I was trying to do when everything broke.
Look, Will likes it. Nobody wants to see my face.
It's not true.
Wait a minute.
Pat, we can't see sitting cuties if you do this.
You're right. And that's literally the only thing that I bring to this show. All right. I'm gonna remove it. I'm sorry.
At least you bring something to the show. I'm just here for the ride.
Oh no. We're ruining Trey.
Why is life like this? Why is life this way?
Trey, we do this because we love you.
All around me are familiar faces, poured out places, bright and early for the daily races, going nowhere.
Now we're definitely getting demonetized.
Andrew,
they're gonna block the video because you sang it.
How's your week been?
So hold on. Twitch chat.
I'm working on it. Okay, just go into your week.
No, I'm saying so. It's Twitch because I had to reopen YouTube chat, so I don't have to reopen Twitch chat.
Yeah, I think you got to refresh it. Yeah.
Hold on.
I'm gonna send out a deal too. That's like, hey,
zero regrets. This is better. I'm
we're
glad
back
you
up.
think so,
I'm
Jen.
so sorry.
I think our taco likes my idea.
For anybody who's like, man, Trey always seems like super stressed at the start of the podcast and then just relaxes over the course of it. Like, gee, I wonder why.
I wonder if it has anything to do with those Windows updates.
Could have. That's the worst part.
Yep. Could have broke something. Well, anyways.
Yeah, please go on with your week. I'm going to try and add Twitch chat as a source.
Oh, you got this.
Played some banner rewards, blah, blah, blah. But one game has taken over my life almost literally the past 5 days, 6 days, 5 days, I think. It's all a blur now when I don't have to go to work.
Yeah.
Elder Scrolls Online.
Really? You got back into ESO, huh?
Yeah, you already know this, Trey.
I'm trying to build up for the.
Don't put on the front.
I almost said for the kids.
Played ESO.
So yeah, I got back into it. Elsewhere was on sale for $9, and I've been wanting to get it anyways. So I bought it for $9 and said, "Screw it to my level 24 sorcerer. I'm going to start from level 1 as a necromancer."
Okay.
And like I said, 5 days ago, I was level 1. I am now level 50, champion point 126. There's 810 champion points,
Yeah.
CPs. But the key here is to get to 160 because that's where everything maxes out at. Everything after that is just extra points.
Yeah.
But like armor and enemies and stuff like that max it at 160. So I've been trying to grind up to get to 160. The stories are really actually good. Like even like some of the weird side quests are really nice.
Yeah.
And but the main story I did Elsewhere, and then I played Northern Elsewhere and then Southern Elsewhere. Oh. Sorry, I'm reading chat.
No, you're good.
I'm reading YouTube chat, so it's fine.
Twitch chat is on the screen now.
Oh, okay.
It's not where I want it to be, but I'm working on that, but it will be soon. Please continue.
But yeah, Elder Scrolls Online. I like the combat a lot. I like the way the skills work. You have 2 skill bars, and you can flip between them, and you can flip between weapon sets. And I'm a stamina necromancer, so I use a 2-handed weapon and a bow.
Yeah.
With my necromancer spells. I don't know. I mean, I like it a lot. It's a great time waster when I'm hoping that I'll go back to work anytime soon, even though I know it'll probably be a couple more months.
Shame there's not a game you already had the newest expansion to that's a great time waster.
Yeah. So he's talking about Final Fantasy 14.
It's a good game.
Very good game.
It's a good game. And I may, once I hit 160 in ESO, I may just say, yeah, you know what, I'm going to take a break from this and try to get back into Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
There's something about Final Fantasy. It's like too relaxing for me. Like the pretty music and everything.
Oh, wait until you get in some of the other areas.
Like to where I kind of doze off sometimes. And it's not that it's boring. It's just music to me is like it's a big thing for putting me to sleep.
Yeah.
Same with like Persona. I would play Persona 5 and just like go to sleep because the music was so good. One thing I will definitely say is from my experience so far in ESO, no one does dungeons like Final Fantasy 14.
Yes.
No one does. No one can do it. FF14's dungeons are the best.
Yes.
I've played WoW, I've played Guild Wars, I've played ESO, I've played a whole bunch of MMOs. And Final Fantasy still has the best dungeons.
Yes, it does. It's amazing.
And every time I run a dungeon in this game, I just can't help but think like this sucks compared to what FF14 has.
Yes, I agree.
But I like FF14. It does have a lot of good stories in it. Okay,
RPing is a lot of fun too.
I am working on it. Twitch chat as fast as I can.
I don't RP. I'm not a loser.
You take that back, sir.
Oh, that's on the docket, Iggy. That is on the docket.
I'm too much of a loser to RP. That's what it is.
Honestly, it's fun because I personally don't like being myself, so being able to be someone else in a virtual world for a while is a lot of fun.
I think
don't make that face, Trey. You know that.
I like you, Pat.
And I'm glad that you do. That's an objective opinion that you have.
Yeah.
Or subjective opinion. Sorry, that's a subjective.
Oh no, it's
opinion
objective. All right.
It's objective because it's his opinion.
You're right. Yeah, your opinion is objective because it's yours.
Why did it move Lu Boo instead of the Twitch chat?
Why is Lu Boo even involved? What are you doing to the stream?
I'm doing my best right now.
Why did you bring Char? Let me pull up.
Look, I will bring up Char as soon as I can. I'm doing my best.
He's trying to put everything on the stream to make up for it. Put Goku on there. We'll get views.
Yeah.
That's the trick to getting views. Puppies and Goku.
Why won't it move in front of the background?
I'm just gonna keep rolling on with my week.
Please do.
I'm just gonna keep this shit show rolling.
This window pulled up so I can watch it. I feel so bad for Trey right now.
It just needs to go in between the two backgrounds and it'll be perfect. That's all it's got to do, and it doesn't want to do it.
You look like you're hurting right now.
He
Dragging
is
it.
hurting.
It's not
Dragging
that
it.
serious, Trey.
Dragging it. I'm dragging it
Why do you have Twitch up multiple times?
because I'm trying to make it work right now. Shut up.
Okay. But yeah, RPing is a lot of fun because you get to be someone else for a while. And like also the crazy cool stories that come out of it are insane. You just gotta be doing it with the right people. But
So I was gonna play RE3. Didn't do that because of ESO. Quit playing Mountain Blade 2 because of ESO. But I did today, just a few hours ago. I tried out Resident Evil Resistance. Is that what it's called? I think that's what it's called. That's what it's called. Okay, I had to double check because nobody's talking about it. So it's easy to forget. In my Steam library, it's a separate game.
Yeah,
I don't know why they didn't just let you load in from RE3, but whatever.
that would make too much sense.
But I played the tutorials, and then I played some of the Survivor, and I played one match of the Mastermind. What?
Nothing. Everything's fine. Keep going.
Oh God, what is he doing, Pat?
there's just a random black screen
I'm
added
fixing
on
it. I'm
underneath us
fixing
for
it.
some reason.
It's not random. Look, everything people don't understand. This podcast layout is extremely difficult to line up right because Discord automatically adds black bars above and below the call, and so I have to align two separate Navy images to fit around it and make it all work. And I'm trying to slot the Twitch chat underneath us, but above that layer, and it doesn't work. It just doesn't work that way. And I didn't mean to make this whole thing Bible colored. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm doing my best.
Look, can we just get an F in chat for Trey? F in chat for Trey. Just throw it in there. He deserves it.
Okay, keep going. I'm gonna figure this out. I'm gonna
Anyways.
figure this out. Keep going.
Anyways, Resident Evil Resistance. The
F's are rolling.
Survivor.
I see you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Andrew. Keep going.
No, I was reading chat.
This is so bad.
Hold on. Got a plan.
We're doing great.
Got a plan.
This is how the
So-
podcast goes.
No, it does not. This is a complete mess. not like, yeah,
This is quality content.
quality content. That's
I'm
what
glad
they
the
pay for.
people like it, cause
This is gonna be the most viewed podcast ever,
Yeah.
and it's 2 separate videos.
All we gotta do.
it's
is
not gonna
put
be
a
too separate
picture-
after I get done tonight.
No, don't do
Oh,
that.
I'm gonna be up all night fixing it.
Oh no,
It's all we gotta do to get to top podcast is
Pepperidge Farms.
on the thumbnail. Was it a shit show? Reported.
Pepperidge Farms.
We're not even done with
Reports.
Andrew's week yet.
I'm a mod. How do I report Machete Eddie? How do I get rid of him?
It's Eric.
I know. He needs to be punished for what he said.
Pepperidge Farms remembers. I'm so done. It broke. That was good.
How do I can't? None of my buttons are working. I can't get rid of him. Not even this works.
Oh, I modded him like 20 minutes ago. You can't. I didn't
Oh, you
actually mod him.
did.
I didn't actually mod him. I
The
just wanted-
best mod because you
Oh,
don't
okay.
even know how to ban someone. What has this become?
I never have to ban anyone.
Let me start over. Let the day start
We
over.
have such a good fan base.
Please, just let the day start over for
That
me.
was a quality meme.
Oh man.
Hey, Andrew, tell me more about Army Resistance.
The founder's badge. Oh, never mind. He's a 1 month subscriber.
This is why we can't have nice things.
You're gonna ban a subscriber? Wow.
No, I'm not. No, I didn't realize he was a subscriber. Never mind.
I know
Can't
we're still
ban a
live on
subscriber.
YouTube because I see comments coming in, but now YouTube's telling me we're not live anymore. So Andrew, just please continue your week. I'm gonna lose my mind over here.
RE Resistance. I played Survivor. I played Mastermind. Survivor gameplay is kinda weak. 4 people running around aimlessly. I mean, you're trying to get like puzzle pieces and stuff like that, like you would in Resident Evil.
Yeah.
If you die, you come back because it's all based on a time limit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The more damage the Mastermind does to you, the less time you have, the more damage. Like when you do damage and kill zombies and stuff, you gain time back. And when you complete objective, you gain time back. I will say though, I will return to RE Resistance for one thing, and that is playing as the Mastermind. It is so much. It's so weird and so much fun. So you swap. All you do is swap between cameras that are watching rooms from different angles, and you have cards. You have like 5 cards in front of you, and when you play one, a new one replaces it. So it's kind of got some randomness to it, but all your guys have all your zombies and stuff have different costs.
Mm-hmm.
You can summon one dog. You can summon a pack of zombie dogs. You can summon a big boy zombie. You can summon explosive zombies. You can even change your camera into a rifle or a machine gun attachment and just do straight damage to the guys.
Trey, what are you doing? I can see you on the podcast. Just put the chat back over there where it was.
No, it's
Quit
fine.
messing with it.
It's fine. I got it. We're
That's
good.
not okay. That's
We're perfect.
that's
People
worse
can read that
than
right
me
now.
having
We're
it up on
perfect.
the screen.
We're good. Keep
That's
going, Andrew.
worse. That's worse than me having it up on the screen.
But then you also get to summon your ultimate, which can be Mr. X or the G Virus Tyrant. It's a tyrant of some sort. My match with Mastermind, I won. I destroyed the team.
Yeah.
Even though I didn't know the map, I still was just
Yeah.
just that damn good at the game.
You just see Trey's head pop up.
I gotta see what everyone else is seeing.
I'm crying. I'm crying. I want to give a big thank you to all of our subscribers and to all of our patrons.
Yep, your Patreon money's going to good use. Quality content's all we offer here at the Full Spectrum Podcast.
And now we're gone. Hold on. I gotta fix
What
it.
are you doing?
I just tried to fix it again. I gotta stop.
No, don't leave Artaka.
I gotta stop trying to fix this.
Oh man.
There we go. We're back.
Oh,
Oh, we're back. Okay.
I'm so sorry.
Oh. So yeah, Resistance is fun, man.
This is the production quality I'm happy to donate for.
Oh, you know, many
As long
times
as we're making people happy.
many times I've questioned how much easier it would be if we just pre-recorded all these and then I could edit them. But then stuff like this would never happen.
Trey, why don't you
Yeah.
just move the chat back down there where it was?
Because then it sticks up and in Andrew's face.
Whatever. Nobody wants to see that anyways.
I added Char so that we could laugh more. He came here to laugh at us all.
This is
Oh my gosh.
a shit show.
Yep. So let's keep it going.
Keep it rolling. Well,
We're
boys,
an hour in, or
Yep.
30 minutes in.
Yep.
We're 30 minutes in, and we haven't even finished Andrew's week.
Yep. Well, that is my week.
Oh, hey.
I'm glad
Wow.
I could
All right.
inform y'all on the games that I've been playing. I'm glad everything went smoothly there.
So I just want you to know, for if you don't have the stream up and you're just listening, the Char GIF that is now on screen says, "I came here to laugh at you."
That's fair.
Because I felt like, you know what? That's what he's here for, right?
My head hurts.
Yep.
My soul hurts.
Oh man. Okay.
Hey, it's train time.
Oh, wonderful.
What you need to put up there is, and pardon my French here, but there is a GIF of Bill O'Reilly saying, "Fuck it, we'll do it live,"
Right.
and that is what needs to be on the screen.
So Restream chat also just refreshed itself, and now
I saw that.
all the comments are gone, but hopefully it's still working.
You know, let's just call this podcast a wash. You know,
We got too much to discuss.
no, we don't. All right,
Oh,
that's my
it's
week.
working. It's working. Okay. Pat, how's your week been?
Yeah, how's your week?
So I impulse bought Neo 2.
Yeah.
I'm thoroughly enjoying
YouTube's really good.
the co-op feature in that game is beautiful. It's done very well. It works very easily. Unless you're dumb like me. I made a very stupid mistake earlier, but very good. I hope that all three of us can potentially be doing some multiplayer
Yeah,
together.
the co-op is really good in Neo 2.
Yeah, because you get equipment that scales to you, even though you scale down to help other people out. So you're constantly
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, like Trey was getting awesome equipment,
Yeah.
even though he was playing the first level with me.
I got a helmet that was like infinitely better than mine and reduced my weight down to 20 where it was at 31 before.
So Andrew, if you wanted to hop in and play with us, since you'll be playing on the lower levels, you'll be scaled down, but you'll be doing a lot of damage.
Oh no, I'm only on like the third level.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, that's literally perfect.
Guess how many people can do expeditions together?
3.
Also, because the way it works, you can revive each other.
It's
That's awesome.
so good.
You have a menu, like a meter, basically. And the meter is used up when somebody has to revive, but you get meter back when you beat Dark Realms. And then the way that shrines work in co-op is that you go to the shrine, and the first time you go to the shrine, you can heal there and get your stuff back and everything. But after that, you can't heal there anymore. But the enemies don't respawn.
And every shrine after that you visit, you get the normal bonus from, like the health
Yeah.
and the ninjutsu and stuff back. So it's still worth stopping at the shrines, because every next shrine you go to, you're getting that stuff that you're supposed to be able to get every time you pray.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very well done. Like, it's very, very well done.
Yes.
There's more monsters and enemies. There's bigger enemies, like bigger versions of the enemy. It's really cool. Like, I really enjoy the multiplayer. It's done well.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully we can play a little bit with that. I've been playing Animal Crossing still. This egg event really freaking sucks.
Oh, I
Yep.
forgot about the
I would be
Yeah.
so happy if the egg event was over.
The 12th cannot get here fast enough. Like, this is literally the worst. If I chopped one more tree 3 times with a flimsy axe and don't get a single piece of wood, I might throw my Switch.
I just realized that I can be half Trey, half chat.
How does that
Half
make you
Trey,
feel?
half Twitch.
Tway.
Full moron.
Yeah, no, I'm super tired of the egg event. It needs to go. That needs
It
to
is
stop.
literally the worst.
Yeah, the big thing for me is not chopping the trees, but trying to hit rocks.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like you're trying to get iron or even the rare gold nugget, and instead of getting any of that good stuff, you get like 4 eggs and then a piece of clay.
Well, you can hit them 8
Yeah.
times. I don't know if y'all knew that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I've hit one 8 times, and 4 of the 8 times, it was an egg. And it was just like, well, this is a wash because 3 of these are stone, and only 1 of them is an iron nugget. So what was the point?
Yes.
Yeah.
I
No, it's a
purposely
bad
have
time.
been avoiding fishing.
Yep.
Because
Yes.
fishing is my favorite thing in that game, and I refuse to allow those eggs to ruin what fishing is for me.
You want to know what the saddest thing in the world is? Well, it's not in the world, but in Animal Crossing.
What's that?
When you walk outside your house and CJ is standing outside your house asking you to do a fishing tournament with him, and he asks you for 3 large fish. And I go, you know what? Surely they coded this where when he asks you that and you have to get 3 large fish back to back, you can't possibly get an egg. So I went to the first large fish that I found, and I threw my hook out there, and I caught it and reeled it in, and it was an egg. And the game goes, "That's not a large fish." And I was like, "Nope, I'm done for today."
Yep. Courtney has caught multiple eggs in a row, just back to back to back with fishing, to the point now she's just, which is in a way a good thing, expands your horizons. Now she's catching bugs instead.
Yeah.
Same. So this is also my first Animal Crossing as well. And I feel the same way. It's literally like I'm so excited. I love this game. And then the event comes out and I'm like, cool, my first Animal Crossing event. I can't wait for this. This is probably gonna be really awesome. And before I even get to touch it, I literally see all over Twitter and all of my friends saying, this is garbage. And
Yeah.
I'm like, how could it be that bad, right? Then I start playing and I'm like, oh, so I'm just not going to play this except for every Sunday so I can buy turnips.
Yeah. Well, and to get anything out of it besides like the bunny the egg outfits and the furniture and crap like that, you have to
Yeah, for sure. Give you an option to turn off the events, the way to go.
no, don't do that.
To be
Just
able to
don't
say,
make-
I don't want to
don't-
be part of it.
If it's going to be something like this, just make it where once all of the items that you can make from the event have been made, then you don't deal with that part of
So,
the game anymore.
There are 2 benefits to the event. The first is that you can eat the eggs as if they were fruit. And the second is that anything that you make from the eggs is worth double the sell price of the eggs. So you can make some of the more expensive recipes and sell those. It's still a huge pain, and I hate it, but I am going to use all those eggs to move, like to reorganize my orchard, basically.
Well, and you need to make all of the
That's not how
items.
eggs work. It's true.
Why do you need to make all the items?
If you want to
You
pass the
want-
event.
Yeah, if you want to pass the event, you need to make all of them. And Courtney has made all of them that she's found online. It's 37 things that you have to make.
And the reward's not worth it.
No.
You get
Well,
just
we don't-
spoilers.
we don't know.
If for anybody that do
Oh.
you care?
No.
I don't.
Okay. I'm gonna put spoiler hand. I gotta put it up on this side. Spoiler hand. For anybody who can't, because you can't see it because chat's in the way. The reason why Pat and Andrew were laughing so much earlier is because I'm all the way in the corner of my webcam. Spoiler hand. You get a wand, and wands are really useful because you can use them to change your outfits. Like you can set preset outfits and change them. But during the egg event is also the Sakura tree event. And you can make a wand with 9 Sakura petals. So why would you do the egg
So,
event when you can just go
it's the same
catch the
thing.
Sakura petals and make a wand that way?
Wow.
So, yeah. Yeah, I
Well,
agree with Jen.
Well,
I think
Courtney will appreciate the one. She changes her outfit all the time.
yeah, it's really helpful. I agree with Jen though. I think if you had instead, or if they had instead said, "Hey, you don't catch the egg, you catch a large fish, and the large fish had an egg during this event."
Yeah, you give you something extra.
there's options.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like they played out those options. They
For
were
sure.
just like, oh, this is gonna be great. We'll have eggs everywhere. But they
Yeah.
also probably weren't expecting every single person to be playing this every day, all day, and dealing with nothing but eggs. So I want to give them a little bit of benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, you should have an expectation that eventually this is gonna be achieved. And having it be a 13-day event just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's been really difficult to pay off all my debts and stuff during this.
Well,
I-
Courtney
I-
already has like 4 rooms or something crazy.
Yeah, I only have 2.
I
Yeah, they
legit
did-
am not booting. What
I'm
happened?
sorry. As Desiree pointed out, they did nerf the egg drops. They have nerfed them twice now since the event started.
Thank goodness.
So that shows that they are listening. They recognize that people are not happy about this and are trying to fix it.
I'm literally only booting this game on Sundays.
Well,
Well,
you
gotta
need
boot 'em
you got to boot it
another
to
day
sell
to
your turnips.
Yeah,
That's fine. I'll just keep collecting them and then sell a ton.
Well,
of
they
them
go
whenever
bad.
the game's-
they go bad.
How long does it take for them to go bad?
A week. Come Sunday again, they're
Oh,
they're
wait.
gone.
Awesome. My storage is looking great.
Oh no!
So this is your first Animal Crossing. How could you know that? Right? Yeah, but
Exactly,
Yeah.
because
That-
it doesn't tell you that.
you will
Well, it
find
does.
out when
I
you go to
just
check
didn't
them. You will find out when you go to
But
check them.
It's so funny to me for someone who's been playing Animal Crossing for like 15 years or
Yeah.
so. It's just like no.
Because I made
don't
the
do
same
that.
mistake way back when.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, what you do is you buy them and then you check every day to see what the sale price is and you try to make back more than you got. And sometimes you get really good sales and sometimes it's Saturday and you haven't got more yet and you take a loss to sell them all back so they don't go bad.
So Courtney is invested enough that she has found online. Apparently, it every week follows
A trend?
like yes. the
It's a stock market.
trend. There's like 4
Well-
or 5 trends that it can follow.
Pat, it's called the stalk market. Just so you know.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's like 4 or 5 trends, but you won't really know until around Thursday morning,
Yeah.
or something like that. So she's got it down to an art.
I need to get with her then and figure out
That's what I'm saying.
when I should sell them.
Also, you can go to other people's islands and sell your turnips there if it's
Yeah, if
worthwhile.
they have better prices, yeah.
That's cool.
So if you talk to Timmy and Tommy one day and they say, "Hey, today we're selling them for $250 each. We'll buy them." Like, let everybody know.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
You want to get me to play with you on Animal Crossing? That's how you do it.
Wow. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, I still love that game.
Yeah.
I don't want to make it sound like I hate the game.
Oh no,
'cause
that
I-
event's bad.
It's just a bad event.
Yeah.
But the game is really good. Like it's
And
fantastic.
it's just a shame that it happened right after the game release.
Yeah, there's no telling how many people have stopped playing it because of this.
Like,
But
like if it released in like November,
Yeah.
and then next April it came around, it would kind of be like, okay, well,
Yeah, I can put it down for a week and a half, whatever.
yeah.
But
But the water in this game,
very pretty.
amazing.
Very pretty.
Well done.
Is it best water worthy?
Oh, it's gonna be on the list for sure. It's gonna be on the list.
We're already thinking about Game of the Year, everybody. We're already on it.
Yeah.
It's got to start early.
We've got
Um,
something big planned. No, I'm just
Yeah.
It's
We're gonna
called
do our
Game
own
of the
game show.
Year. No, we're not. No, we're not. I'm not. Well, I'm
I said
not
we're doing our
promising
own game
that.
show. Look, I'm already in talks with Fortnite. We got this. Okay.
If we do our own game show, we'll have Hideo Kojima, but we won't have Fortnite.
No, we have to have Fortnite. That's how you have a
Also-
quality game show.
Also, we're doing Game of the Year live for
Nope.
like 15 hours.
No,
straight.
no, 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 no. I don't know if you guys knew this or not, though, but Andrew actually is like a close personal friend of Hideo Kojima. They went to school
Dude,
together. So,
don't make a whole thing of it.
well, I mean, you know.
Too
I
late.
mean, we're. I mean, I haven't talked to him in like a couple days.
Show him the speed dial. Show him the
can't.
speed dial.
Let me edit something first, real quick. Let me just make a change here.
Oh.
I've been playing Magic the Gathering Arena.
Yeah!
Yeah.
I
That
forgot to
game
put
is
that on the
awesome.
docket.
Game is awesome. First time ever playing Magic ever.
Yes.
The day that I downloaded the game, I sat down with a friend, and they were explaining the game to me, and they explained the rules of a different game mode that I don't know if you can play in Magic the Gathering Arena, because in Magic the Gathering Arena you play standard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was playing, what's the mode called? I don't want to sound like an idiot. It's a mode where you have like the one card that you set to the side. Commander, is that what it's called? Commander mode?
I don't know.
I think it's called Commander mode.
I like Magic, but I only know
The standard
like,
mode.
Standard Magic. Yeah.
Gotcha. I'm pretty sure it's called
You're talking like a
Commander.
draft mode or something.
No, so you have a commander, and the commander, you can summon them at any time, and they do their own damage. And if you get like so many commander damage on your opponent, then they lose, even if they still have life points left.
That sounds like that Yu-Gi-Oh mode where you have a guardian monster.
It's kind of like that. I think it's called commander mode. I might be
Joey-
wrong though. Put it in the comments if I'm wrong, so
Not
that way
Joey.
we can get it right. Because I don't remember.
Did you say Joey?
Tristan had a monkey, and he died, and his soul got put into the monkey card, and then
Oh, that's right. I
Joey's
remember that.
sister, Serenity. I just had to remember it.
I thought you froze for a second.
No, I had to remember her name. Serenity had to use Tristan's deck, but she was blind. But inside that weird game mode, she could see. And then Tristan was only into her because she was blind, and it revealed that he was like super shallow. And then over the course of them having to use his card to win again, you could see the shadow of me moving my finger, but couldn't see the finger. But regardless, over the course of that, they fell in love, and they almost hooked up. But then Duke Devlin came in, and he's Duke Devlin, you know.
For
Yeah.
sure.
He's Devlin, all right. I don't know who it is.
I still haven't played outside of the games that the color challenge makes you do. I
Yeah.
haven't played against real people, but playing the color challenge against real people is unfair because their decks are very much more like built for what they're
Yeah.
doing, and versus the deck that you have,
Yes.
which seems like is just absolute garbage.
I played against a guy that was using the exact same deck as I did, and it turns out that's a really good deck to use against me.
Yeah, and
So,
also there's some luck on which cards you get. And
Yeah,
everything.
for sure.
oh, for sure.
It's actually one of those games where even though it's 1v1, I don't get mad. I just play, and if I lose, okay, well, whatever. They had a better deck or whatever. They had a
Yeah,
better
or they got
hand or
better luck this time. Or...
Yeah, or they just played. I mean, they could have just played better. I don't have very many cards to use anyway. I mean,
Yeah.
there's so many ways just to be like, oh no, it's whatever.
Well, go ahead, Pat.
I was just gonna say I'm too competitive for that. Like I get so upset, but it's an upset where like I'm like, no, I have to play again so I can win. Like I have to play again. I'm gonna win this time. And then I'll think the whole time I'm getting ready for the next match, I'm like, I should have done this better. I should have done this better. I should have done this instead of this. I should have done this instead of that. And then I get in the next game and stay tilted and lose again because that's how I play games.
I'm in this weird place with it where I want to play more, but I don't want to get attached to that deck because that deck's going to change drastically on the 16th when the Godzilla cards drop.
Shoot.
Because that's why, spoilers, that's why I'm playing Magic the Gathering Arena now, is because Godzilla cards are coming. And I already pre-ordered digitally the Godzilla expansion deal. So on the 16th, I'll record a video of me opening 50 booster packs that came with that.
Dude,
Yeah.
Trey, how much did you pay for that?
It was $50, $1 a pack.
That's a good deal.
And it got
That
the...
is-
Go ahead, sorry.
That's a good deal.
And
Yeah.
it had the exclusive Godzilla like specialty versions of the cards. And I was like, well, yeah, I've got to have those. That's what I want anyway, is the Godzilla cards. So doing this, I'll get guaranteed to have the Godzilla cards. So, you know, we'll be
It's
doing
worth
that.
it just for the bonus packs because those bonus packs are expensive.
But I enjoy. It's really surprising because I was gonna play it just for Godzilla, but I actually enjoy the way the game works. The strategy levels. It reminds me of back when I used to play Pokemon TCG, Digimon TCG, and Yu-Gi-Oh, and I really enjoy it.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, it's a good game for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Started playing FF14 again.
Yeah.
Did a little bit of RPing with the free company. That was beautiful. A lot of cool stuff happened. A lot of good story.
Got to meet my old cat.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
restream.
hilarious.
Oh, I didn't even notice that, Jen. I'm so sorry, Patrick. Restream doesn't want to work right now, but it gave us an award. It gave us a trophy in the middle of all this.
Just to remind you.
I'm not working right now. I have a trophy.
There is
The
going to be a
game's great.
physical version of it, Artaka, but I have the digital through Magic the Gathering Arena.
The last thing I did this week, I put in a lot of time to set up the website. So if anybody cares about the Full Spectrum Podcast website, you can go check that out, thefullspectrumpodcast.com. And, post update stuff on there, easy to find playlists and things like that. So it's just been a little like side project that I'm doing for fun. Bless you.
I couldn't reach the mute button. I'm so sorry.
It's all good.
It's fine.
The mute button's
Just
over
every
there.
person.
It's over there.
The website is very much a work in progress, but feel free to leave as many comments as you want, because I want to make it better, and it's something that I'm literally just doing because I enjoy it. So feel free to let me know in either the comments or in the email or whatever, what kind of recommendations you might have and stuff. So
Yeah.
And that's been my week.
For my week, 14 had patch day today, patch 5.25. The Relic Quest has been added, and it has maybe the coolest solo duty in the entire game, where you go into another character's memories that have been tainted by time and by trauma, and that character, like, you have to fight the manifestation of that character's memories. And I don't want to spoil anything for anybody, but I feel like I have to say this. So, like, I'll put up the spoiler hand, because I'm not going to spoil any big story moments, but you get to the boss of this solo duty. This is not like a queue into it. This is a story, like, instance. You get into the end of this instance, and you have to fight a boss, and you summon 7 NPCs, and you do an 8-man trial fight with 7 NPCs.
That's really cool.
And it's so hype. So there'll be my recording of me doing that, because I was told I needed to record it by somebody who had already done it. So my recording of that will go up tomorrow or later, depending on how long it takes me to cut the podcast together. But that's super cool. And the relic, like, weapons look really cool. It's going to take a while to get them all because you need poetics. And I just haven't been grinding for poetics because you haven't needed poetics in a very long time. But they're really good weapons, so fun
What
stuff
do you
so
need
far.
photos for?
To get the other, like, because I got my, it gives you a relic weapon when you finish it. And a relic weapon, for anybody who doesn't know, relic weapons are a weapon that you get that is moderately powerful. It's probably more powerful than, like, the regular stuff that you have at that level, but it's not as good if you've been doing all the weeklies and dailies. So it's not as good right now as my current weapon, but over the course of further patches, there'll be more quests that allow you to level it up so that it becomes stronger. And, so they give you one for free as part of finishing the quest, but then if you want one for other jobs, you have to pay poetics to get it. And so
I have the maximum amount of poetics, I believe, because it keeps telling me I can't get any more.
yeah, poetics are the easiest thing in the world to get. I just haven't been getting them because I haven't cared, you know?
Yeah.
So I'll get those, and then all my jobs will have those cool new weapons. But they're really powerful. So from there, I've been playing Neo 2 still. That game's really good. I am in the back half of the second area, and I really like it. Looking forward to playing more of that. My ninjutsu's just getting better and better. Animal Crossing, of course, as we talked about. I almost lost Spike. I would have been so upset if I'd lost Spike. I was going through all of this and like my daily stuff, and Spike was like, "Hey, I get the feeling nobody likes me here." And I was like, "Spike, you're a rhinoceros with a scar over his eye with gold, like a gold, like trimmed horn. And you're like, nobody likes you here? Spike, I love you, buddy." And he was like, "Oh, well, if you don't want me to go, I'll stick around, I guess." And I was like, oh, there's like 4 other villagers I would see go before Spike. But I got a lighthouse, and I got a Godzilla, and I got a giant pyramid. So, you know, Animal Crossing going well. I finished Pirate Warriors 4. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, we have a question in chat. Is Neo 2 better than Sekiro?
I have not played it, so I can't.
I am going to be honest.
Here we go.
I enjoy playing Neo 2 more than I enjoy playing Sekiro. And I think that Neo 2 is unbalanced in a way that Sekiro is not, but is balanced in a way that Sekiro is not as well. Your basic combat in Neo 2 is not as streamlined as in Sekiro. Your one-on-ones in Sekiro are far more delicately planned out, right? Because you only have one weapon, one way of approach. But I think because of that unbalance, it cycles back around to being balanced again, because I can poison bosses, I can slow bosses down, I can use magic against bosses, I can use my techniques against bosses, whereas in Sekiro, it's use the Ashita Cross or the Ichimonji and use the Shuriken with the follow-up, and that's it. You know, that's the only thing you should be using. I guess the axe or the umbrella if you want to get around certain attacks. And so I feel in that way it is more unbalanced for sure, but it feels more fair to the player because of that. If that makes sense. So, you know. It's my current thoughts on it.
I'll say Trey's the only one that's played a lot of Neo. Have you beaten Neo 2 already?
No, I'm still a good little ways away from beating it, I think.
Okay. Trey has played a lot of Neo 2 though, and he's the only one that's Sekiro, so.
Yeah. And again, I feel like I always have to say this. I enjoyed Sekiro. I really did. It wasn't until New Game Plus that I really got mad at that game. But I really enjoyed that first playthrough until the last 2 bosses. Everything before that I thought was really, really good. Well, Guardian Ape's pretty bad, but everything other than that is really, really good. It feels like, again, it is as Artaka puts it, unbalanced in the sense of having a couple of really powerful skills instead of you're just going to use firecrackers, Ichimonji, Shuriken follow up. Because just in Neo alone, I have 6 different options between my stances with Tonfas alone, and then I still have another weapon I can use. But so from there, Streamlabs is telling me we're down, but comments are still coming in, so I think we're still up.
It's still up on my screen. So.
Okay. I got an email from Streamlabs letting me know that we just went down. What did... Vamp for me for a second.
Oh, I don't have the vamp. So just...
I have a little bit of tease. You want some tease?
Give me a tease.
Okay. Oh, do it slower.
I can do that.
Oh, Papa.
Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry. Finished Pirate Warriors 4. I really, really like that game. I like it a lot. I'm considering doing a fuller review of it. Because I do think it has some problems. Namely, and I put out a video today on the channel about it. Namely, that this is the 4th game in the series, and a bunch of characters that were playable in the last game just aren't here. And that a bunch of the levels that should have been here just aren't. it's like everybody has a different line on how much that bothers them, right? Everybody has a different stance on just how much needs to be in the game. But if they're not at least going to have the levels, they need to have the characters, is my opinion. And where the line is for me is, and this is not a spoiler, you guys already know about this, there's a time skip in One Piece. Where the line is drawn for me is that a couple characters are playable before time skip from the Straw Hat crew, but not all of them. And yet those other ones that aren't playable are on the map still using abilities and still fighting, which means they made movesets for them. And so I worry that they're going to be DLC. And I wish that wasn't the way it had to be. You know, I wish that it just had everybody. I will say, though, in that video, and I've fixed it in the description and I've pinned the comment, I did make a mistake. I said that Kaido could not transform. He actually can transform. It's just locked behind multiple missions that are hidden, so you don't see them until you do a specific mission. And the ability on his growth map is hidden, so you can't see it until you've done those missions. I don't know why they decided to do it that way. That's really dumb to me. But, you know. I still really like that game. I think the game plays really well. I would say, we'll do an ACG here. When it comes down in price, wait for a sale and pick it up, because I think it's really fun.
ACG call out.
And then finally, I've been playing Persona 5 Royal. I recorded footage, about 30 minutes worth of footage of me in the first dungeon. I'll go back later after I'm in like the 4th or 5th dungeon and do voiceover for that because of Atlas's really weird rules. But I really like it so far. The big change, you're going to love this. They made it where your ammo reloads after every fight because it's all about cognition, right? Where the guns, they're not actually real guns, but they work because the demons think that they're guns, right? So it made no sense that your ammo didn't reload in between fights because they don't know that you used all your ammo already. They didn't nerf the guns, though, so the guns are still way too strong, and you get your ammo back every fight. So grinding out regular encounters is super easy. You just use all your ammo, and then if they're still alive, finish off whatever's left.
There's guns in that game?
All around me are... Yes!
This is Persona 4, right?
It's
Persona
been too
5.
long.
But there's guns.
5?
There's guns in every Persona
When
game,
did that game
basically.
come out?
2 years ago.
Oh,
Persona 5 Royal is the remake that came out this year.
I'm
Remaster, I
I'm
guess.
Being a smartass.
Yeah, I know you are. I'm just answering for anybody who doesn't know. So another cool thing they did is that used to in Persona 5, you had to get a Confidant to like level 5 before you could use Baton Pass. You just get Baton Pass right off the bat now. So you just have that. You can just do an attack and then Baton Pass to another character and get to use their attack and just keep that chain going. Basically, they made the game faster. And I love that. It feels so good now. The new scenes have been really good so far. I really like it. I'm playing it in Japanese, so I don't know if there's been any changes to the English voice cast. Because I played it in English the first time, so I'm playing it in Japanese this time. But I really, really like that game still. My big complaint with that game was how long it dragged on towards the end. And so my hope is that now, with this faster option, you can catch up faster, you know?
Yeah.
So
I would appreciate that. I would be down to check just for that. Just for the fact that they're speeding it up.
they also added maybe my favorite feature, which is that when dialogue starts, if you've already seen the dialogue, you can't just outright skip it, but instead you just hit start, and it goes through at like 4 times speed, just blitzing through it. And then at any time you can go, wait, that's a new character. This is a new scene. You can hit start again to stop it, and then go back to the log and scroll back up to where it was and re-listen to that dialogue to come back down to it. It makes those first couple days so much faster because I played through Persona 5 once and then went back and played through the first half of the game again before our game of the year that year because the first half of the game was my favorite part of the game. And it feels great to just be able to blitz through that. But So, yeah. That's been my week, though. So we'll move from my week into reviews. This is going to be fun to do like this. We only have one game to talk about today in reviews, but I don't think it's going to be a short conversation. It's a good thing. I'm not ever going to say it's a good thing we had technical difficulties. It's a good thing we had technical difficulties today because it's a very light news week.
Yeah, very light.
Yeah, and that one dungeon that's the worst one. I'm really hoping that dungeon's better, man. Really hoping it is. So Final Fantasy VII Remake. This is a game that is a remake of a cult classic, beloved favorite, a darling of the RPG franchise, some might say. A game that's been put on a pedestal many times. A game that I don't think a lot of these reviewers actually played. I'm going to be honest with you. And I'm not just trying to call people out, but we'll get into some of these blurbs and you'll see. But before that, what do you guys think the average score is for Final Fantasy VII Remake?
88.
Okay.
Dude, I was going to say 88.
For real?
Yeah, I will say 86.
Okay. Jenna also says 86. I'm gonna hit the button. He's in front of the mic now, and that feels weird. The score is 88.
Nice.
Sweet.
Good job,
That was
Pat.
an absolute guess. I did not look that up.
Good job,
I just want
Pat.
to be 100% honest.
Okay. While Andrew pulls his algorithm up, what do you think the critic recommended score is?
Beloved franchise. I don't have that for
100 because if it's not,
modifier.
someone needs to get the axe. We have two axes here. Oh, I feel like if anybody missed the very opening minutes of the podcast, they missed that whole joke of "and my axe and my axe."
You have my axe.
So I haven't played the full remake yet. It's no spoiler. We did not get review copy, and my copy is actually coming in late. So I don't know how many of these complaints that we're going to see today are true. But I can tell you some of them are false because I know for a fact they are. But let's go ahead and get into the recommended score, and then we'll get into the reviews themselves. Jen says a 90.
I'm gonna say 96.
Okay.
I'm gonna also say 90. I feel like it's gonna be right around the same.
Okay. Man's going to go with an 82. No faith. I don't blame you. 95 for Will. I'm going to hit the button. 94 for Adri. 90 for Artaka. The answer is 94. Adri got it in one.
94.
Nice.
So, let's get into these reviews. We have Game Explained gave it a loved. ACG gave it a buy. So first off, just so everybody knows, this game plays well. She's using hacks.
Nani?
GameSpot gave it a 10 out of 10. Said Square Enix tells a smaller, more personal Final Fantasy VII tale and marries it with a smart mashup of action and RPG gameplay to deliver a must-play experience. They are not the only people who did that. There are a lot of 10 out of 10s, which is what makes that score so unbelievable. Because that's an 88 for a game that has this many 10 out of 10s. So let's get into why, right? We'll skip past our middle of the road people, the 9 out of 10s. Easy Allies also gave it a 9 out of 10. And we'll get into some of these lower scores here. IGN gave it an 8 out of 10. Said Final Fantasy VII Remake's dull filler and convoluted additions can cause it to stumble, but it still breathes exciting new life into a classic while standing as a great RPG all its own. Yep.
How do you give something an 8 and use words like dull?
Yeah.
Because it's IGN. So, let's discuss this now before we read the next review. This is a half or a third is our current understanding. We don't know for sure yet of the full game. Of the original game, it is a third of that game. It is almost, or it's actually a little bit longer than the original game in its entirety on average on how long to beat. So my question for you all, should a game be docked points for being drawn out when it is a third of an original game but is the same length? Do you think this game would have reviewed better if it was 4 hours long?
I don't think that it matters.
Yeah.
Like, it really comes down to like what's in the game currently.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, they added a bunch of content. Apparently, I haven't played it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But the original, so I still wouldn't know.
Hmm.
But they added a bunch of content, and I think to help justify the fact that it's only a third of the game.
Yeah.
But I don't know. With I completely lost my train of thought.
You're fine. I went on a Twitter thread. Like, I went on a rant on Twitter about game length that was like 35, 36 tweets long. And I'm now working on a script for a video about game length. What is too long? What is too short? And where do we draw that line? And the conclusion that I've come to, and this is just my personal opinion, the conclusion that I've come to is that you cannot say a game is too long or too short and be objective about it. You have to instead, and I worded that poorly, let me explain. It is down to the individual game itself. There is no such thing as a 38 hours is too short, 4 hours is too short. It is down to the game itself to fill that time that it takes you to beat it with enjoyable and fulfilling gameplay or story. And that if it is not able to achieve that, then it doesn't matter how long it is, it's already too long or too short. The example that I go back to every time is the Golden Land of Torna from Xenoblade Chronicles 2, the DLC expansion. It is 18 hours long, right? 18 hours. That 18 hours is 15 hours of amazing story with really solid gameplay, with really good music, and 3 hours of forced side quests that you don't have a choice, but you are forced to do to be able to finish the game. With everything in me, I believe that game would be better if it was 15 hours without those 3. I think that game feels too long, but it's only 18 hours long. In comparison, I think that a game like Undertale feels too short. I wanted more.
Yeah.
But would adding more to Undertale make it better? It depends. Is it going to be at the same level as everything before that? Because how could it be?
Yeah.
That's where the challenge comes in. And that's why I'm working on a whole script for it. Because I think it is not okay to just say all these additions are dull and they make the game too long, but also the game's too short.
But see, that's also why I brought up the point that it really just depends, because like that, it's so subjective.
Mm-hmm.
It's so unimaginably subjective, because one person might love that content.
Yeah.
And so they're never gonna sit there and be like, "Oh, that game's too long."
Right.
But a mass majority of people might say, "Oh no, this content is dragging. It's not worth being here. Make the game shorter." But either way, like, you can't sit here and say that a game, in my opinion, you can't sit here and say a game is objectively better or worse.
Yeah.
Simply because they tried to add more.
Well, I think it's how they do it, right?
Yeah.
And it's tough to know. And I think this is a great example of, does it feel like they added too much and made it too long? Because again, I haven't played it. I'll be the first one to say that. Does it feel like it's too much and they added too much and made it too long because you played the original and knew that there was more game after this point? Or does it feel that way because you didn't enjoy it personally? You know, and those two are very different things.
See, that's why I really want to know. I really want to see. It would be okay. It would be really cool if they did it like this, where they have two people from the company doing the review
Yeah.
have two separate reviews. One review be of someone who's never played the game before,
Hmm.
and the review be from someone who has played the game before,
Hmm.
because they're gonna have two completely different point of views. I've never played Final Fantasy VII ever, so when I play this game, I'm gonna get a completely different experience than you are,
Yeah.
because both of you have experience with this game, right?
No, I don't. I've
I
never
do.
played it.
Okay,
Andrew
so
doesn't, but I do.
so Andrew and I are gonna go into this game not knowing anything
Hmm.
other than maybe some of the characters.
Well, I know some stuff that happens, but
But that's what I'm saying. Like, you've never played the full game. Like, you don't have an undoubted experience where you're like, I know what
Yeah.
this game is. I know how the story. I know what's gonna happen. Blah blah blah. You might know pieces or whatever.
Yeah.
And like, I know a few characters, but that's not the point. Like, I didn't play the full game originally, and even then, that was years ago. Who's to say that you can remember perfectly how that game was that at that time?
Yeah, for sure.
So there's like so many factors, and to sit here and be like, well, the game should have been shorter so they could have fit the whole game in there or something like that, could be completely different point of view. From a completely different point of view, could be wrong, because that person might be like, all of this content was fantastic. I love
Yeah.
this game. I want to see what happens next.
It's also, again, I have not played it. It's possible they did add too much. It's possible they did bloat it out. I will
Yeah.
fully walk back this, and it will go in my video as more evidence of that's not how you want to make game length work. But I haven't played it yet, so I don't know. But the example that I go back to as well is Red Dead Redemption 2. That is a game that I felt like went on for far too long. As Andrew put in chat, you shouldn't finish a game and think, thank goodness it's finally over. That game, a lot of people, though, didn't have that problem at all. A lot of people walked away from that going, this is the perfect length. I feel extremely satisfied from it. And so I'm not saying they're wrong for having that feeling. I'm asking, why did they have that feeling? I want to approach it from a perspective of, how did you get to that feeling? What made you feel that way? And then maybe we can come to a middle ground of, well, you didn't enjoy that, but it wasn't a problem that they put it in there. Or we come to an agreement of, you know what? Yeah, that was too long, you know? But go ahead.
I was just gonna say, it's just it's too overwhelmingly subjective.
Mhm.
It literally is. That's the most objective I think that it can get, because when we're talking about two completely different point of views, two people that one has played and one hasn't played the original game, there's no way that they're gonna have exactly the same.
Oh, for sure. And I'm not gonna say that a reviewer has to say, like, they can't say their own opinion, right? If they think it's too long or too short, they can absolutely say that. But I want them to give reasons why, not just it was too short, it was too long. Not just it felt dull because of the filler. What filler? Explain. Was it mini games? Did you not like the mini games? Were they skippable? Did you have to do them? You know,
Was it a side quest?
I need more information than that.
Because all that does is tarnish it, and that's why I'm saying too, like, I almost feel bad for remake games, because there's a chance if they add stuff that it could get review bombed, because one person was like, no, I wanted the exact game, and they're gonna be like, no, this was terrible, just because they didn't want extra content.
Yeah.
Or they personally didn't like that content.
Well, and that's the problem too. When you hit a golden goose like this, you're not ever gonna make everybody happy, you know? But they couldn't just remake it exactly either. You know, the Midgar in Final Fantasy VII is like 15, 16 boards. It's like 15, 16 screens total. Maybe like 25. You were told make a whole game out of 25 screens? The heck are you gonna do with that? You know? And so I want to play it myself before I say these people are wrong, but I do wish they had explained it more often. Joel here says, feel like the game too short, long argument is a problem when game developers feel the need to add stuff for fear of being called out for having too short a game, and I absolutely agree. I go back to RDR2 again. The idea of you have to watch the animation every time and you can't skip any animations. That really feels like it was just there to have realism.
I have to make a phone call for work.
Okay. You want us to keep going?
Yeah.
Okay.
It shouldn't be long.
Okay.
So I will say, to add to the conversation some more, this even more so falls back on what we've talked about in the past, which is that people who don't play JRPGs expect games to be within a certain time limit.
Yeah, it's really weird to me that this idea of all JRPGs have to be like 70, 80 hours.
Yeah,
Like,
like
that's
first
not
of all,
how they were.
first of all, it shouldn't matter the genre.
Yeah.
And if you're used to playing short games and you're playing a longer game, I don't understand why you take that into account. Like, and maybe that's just because maybe I don't review games enough to understand, but you shouldn't I feel like you shouldn't dock points for a game from being too long unless it had an issue with drag, like it was dragging or pacing. You
Yeah.
can't just be like, oh, the game was too long.
Yeah.
I had to play 70 hours instead of 60.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't make sense. Like,
Well, like we brought up earlier with Persona 5, there's a dungeon in Persona 5 in the original game that dungeon, you get about halfway through that dungeon and you fight what should be the final boss of that dungeon. And it's not. You got a whole other half of that dungeon to go. And it goes and goes and goes and goes. And it doesn't go because there are interesting new things to see like there were in previous dungeons. It goes because they want you to fight more enemies. They want you to go down hallways that are exactly the same because they want you to fight more enemies. They want you to have to spend more than one day in that dungeon.
yeah. And to
That I don't like. I think that's poor. I think that is not well paced, you know?
No, for sure. And to comment on some of these comments in chat. So Will said, I played all the SAO games, and for most people, story is long, but I personally think it's a bit too long.
Yeah.
So but that doesn't make or break a game, in my opinion. I mean, I guess unless most of the game is just dragging.
Yeah.
But there was other comments like the publishers telling them they need to make the game longer because they
Yeah.
think it's going to cost more. Like, Jen, I completely agree with you. That's like publishers do that stuff all the time.
Well, and
They're
as,
like, oh,
as Band called out here too, I do get the too short argument in some contexts. If your game is 5 hours long and $60, obviously a lot of people make a value judgment and pick a longer game for their cash. Not because it's bad, but because they can only afford a game or two a month, which is absolutely fair. And that's one thing that I think should be called out in reviews, right? The idea of, I'm not going to tell you it's too long or too short, but I am going to tell you how long it is. This took me this many hours to beat. It is this price. Make your own value judgment based off the information that I've given you.
because it really unless the game has replay value, you could argue for or against that. Because, for example, some people only play Call of Duty games for the campaign.
Yeah.
They don't play multiplayer. They don't play the other version, the modes or anything. And for some people, $60 for a short 6 to 8 hour story isn't enough.
Yeah.
I mean, that's too much, and I completely understand that. But again, if you're one of those people, why? And this just comes down to my opinion that people who don't play certain games shouldn't review those games.
I still
because
stand-
a
I
lot
still
of times
stand
it comes with
by-
problems with that.
I still stand by that. I think you can have a good review from somebody that doesn't play that type of game. But I definitely get where you're coming from. I do want to hit on Kat's argument with Pokemon, because I have been a staunch defender of Pokemon for years. I love Pokemon. But I have also been the first one to say Pokemon has a huge problem when it comes to length, because the second Pokemon game gave you an entire another set of badges to get. And no Pokemon game has done that since. That is unforgivable to me. I will continue to buy those games and play them because I love monster collecting games. And to a point, Pokemon is one of the best, right? It's the one that keeps coming out with more. Monster collecting games are my favorite genre. They're a subgenre, sure, but they are my favorite genre. That's why I have 400 some odd hours in Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. But I think it is unforgivable that no Pokemon game has done that again. That is not okay to me. When you set, and this goes back to our argument earlier about Pirate Warriors 4, right? With a series. When you set a precedent in a series, if you cannot continue that precedent, you shouldn't have set it in the first place. And I understand there's a lot of exterior factors, right? There's dev time. There's how much things cost. Sometimes your team gets reduced and you just don't have all those options that you had before. But when you add another number to a title that you already had before, that is a sequel, right? People expect something from it. And if you can't meet that expectation, you need to call it something else. It doesn't need to be the same game anymore. And a great example of that is Yakuza. Yakuza 7 is a very different game from the previous franchise. It is a turn-based combat game. And so because it is a turn-based combat game in America, they've named it something else. It's Yakuza Like a Dragon instead of being Yakuza 7 like it is in Japan. So it's tough, right? Judgment is another great example. It doesn't follow Kiryu's story at all, so it's a different title entirely, you know?
Yeah. I mean, there's like, and again, I hate to sound like a broken record, but it's just so overwhelmingly subjective.
Yeah, it is.
And I absolutely hate the argument only because it's literally just it's like an Uno reverse card. It literally is just gonna be back and forth the whole time because
I'm sorry, go ahead.
well, I was just gonna say like because both people are right technically, like because it's your opinion, like and maybe that's just one of the frustrations I have with reviews, and maybe that's why I don't typically look at reviews. I listen to people that I know, because I know that reviewers are like I know that there's a chance that this reviewer specifically hates, for example, sports games.
Yeah,
like
for sure, that happens a lot
but they have to review it
because they were given it.
Yeah, and instead of giving it a chance, they immediately just review bomb it because they already hate sports games. And I guess what I'm meaning by like they shouldn't play these, like they shouldn't do reviews if they don't play these games. It's not even that. They shouldn't do reviews of games for genres that they hate.
Yeah,
because
I
if
agree.
you already hate that genre, you're biased and you go into it. And I know for a fact, reading some of those reviews, that these people hate that genre and they purposely review bomb it, and it's so stupid.
So just a real quick aside, and we can go right back to it. I'm sorry, I don't mean to pull away, but before we get too far from Pokemon, I said my whole spiel about Pokemon Gold and Silver being the best ones and how all of them should have kept doing that. I plugged many times. Brandon plays Pokemon here from the Easy Allies. Brandon Jones playing Pokemon. He played Pokemon Crystal, he played Pokemon Silver. I'm sorry. He got to the end of Johto, beat the Elite Four. The game told him he had 8 more badges to go, and he went, "Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess we can go for 8 more badges." I was just kind of ready to move to the next game, but sure, we'll go for 8 more. Which is the complete opposite of what my reaction was when I first got that. And that's, as you put it, that's the subjective part of it, right? Because for most people, Gold and Silver is still the sterling standard of Pokemon games. It's what all Pokemon games should be. But for Brandon Jones, it was, but I was done with the game. The credits rolled. Yeah. And so it's going to be different for every single person.
And but to take that a step further, that game already had an expectation.
Yeah.
And so when they tried to go above and beyond an expectation, it was going to be a hit or miss. And granted, from what it sounds like, most of the community really liked that step that they took. But again, it's so overwhelmingly subjective. Like that, there's going to be a great amount of people that have that expectation, and they're like, "Oh, well, this is cool, but it's not. It's not a huge thing." Yeah. And then there's going to be some people that are like, "More Pokemon? Heck yeah!" And they're going to get excited about it. And maybe that's the same thing with FF7 Remake.
It's
These
possible.
People had this expectation, and they were like, "This game is going to be this long. This is going to be exactly the way it was." And they play the game, and it's not what they expected. But instead of trying to have a positive outlook, they were like, "This isn't what I expected.
Yeah,
I'm mad." Instead of being like, "Well, they tried to add a lot of cool content, and people will still be able to play the original game. Maybe this wasn't a bad thing."
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
It's possible. I think Doom Eternal is another great example. Doom Eternal is a game that I really enjoyed. Like, I loved the first half of Doom Eternal, and the second half of Doom Eternal, I still enjoyed parts of it, but for the majority, the second half of Doom Eternal for me was just, well, let's finish it. Let's keep going. Let's beat the rest,
Yes.
Yes, 100%, Cat.
Not like video games.
100%, Cat.
That is literally it.
And I think that is a great segue to read another review. What do you think? Because our friends at the Daily Star have reviewed the game. And they have given Final Fantasy VII Remake a 4 out of 5 and said, if you can...
4 out of 10.
Oh,
I was like, whoa.
That would have been ridiculous.
Man.
If you can break through the more sluggish and unenjoyable moments of the game, you'll find an absolute gem of an action RPG shining at the core, a promise of what Square Enix can do with role-playing games in this generation and generations to come.
How do you use those words and give it a 4 out of 5?
I don't know.
It doesn't make sense.
So, I wanna hit this now, right? Because Kat brought it up, and I do definitely agree with that. I think the Daily Star one is a great example. Oh, and Jen went on with it as well. I think a lot of games journalists and games reviewers do not enjoy playing video games anymore. And I get that. I make videos on game, 5 videos a week at least come out on this channel of me playing games or messing with games or doing stuff with games. I get it, right? You burn out. But the secret is you don't mess with the stuff you don't want to mess with anymore.
Exactly.
And
you don't play the
sometimes-
genres that you hate.
Sometimes you finish a game anyway because everybody says how good it is, and you walk away from it and go, you know what, I didn't enjoy this. But I think there is a big difference, and I'm about to sound really hypocritical, so just bear with me, I'm going to explain. I think there is a big difference between, I'm going to write a review that the review itself is hypocritical of itself, that it counters itself many times, that is, you can read it in like 4 or 5 minutes, and I'm going to go make a 50-minute review where I spend 50 minutes going through all of my issues with this game. Not because I hate this game, but because I like this game and I have these problems with it. So, I've said this before, I don't like the idea of reviewing a game that you 100% adore and can't recognize the problems with, or that you 100% hate and can't recognize the good with. I think if you make a review on those terms, your review is basically worthless to everybody. Because you're not
extremely
looking at it
biased.
critically, you're biased against it or biased for it. And it's just like, you need to be fair. You need to be able to look at the game and say, this is good, this is bad, let me explain why this is good, and let me explain why this is bad. And sometimes you're going to get it wrong. Sometimes you're going to walk away from it, and somebody's going to go, hey, actually, that's not bad. You just missed this one thing. And that's when you as a reviewer have to be able to say, you know what? You're right. I did miss this. And I will be completely honest, it infuriates me. I'm doing my best to keep my voice calm right now because it infuriates me when somebody plays the game once and then writes up a little 4-paragraph review and goes, yeah, this was bad, but this was good. It's a 9 out of 10. It's a 10 out of 10. I beat Sekiro twice almost completely before I made that review. I put in over 200 hours into that game before I made that review. And that review, I still feel like I could have put more in there. I probably should have. It's this whole thing of, if you want to review something, I think you need to put in the time. And I think these 5-6 paragraph reviews are just not enough. But I'll stop ranting now. Dean Takahashi is always the example, Cat.
That's literally, that was the saddest thing. But I think another part of it too is like being passionate. Like you said, like if you're starting to feel burnout, don't review games that you're not interested in.
Yeah.
And if you're so interested in it, like that you're gonna love it because it's a genre, like a series you've been wanting to play all this time, don't review that. That's not fair.
Yeah.
But if it's a game you're like, wow, that seems really interesting, I should check that out, review that game. Because you're gonna be unbiased and you're gonna be giving your honest opinion. And who knows, maybe you absolutely adore the game.
Yeah.
That's fine. But at least you weren't going in there with an expectation. And maybe that's the problem.
I think it's okay to go in with an expectation as long as you admit when it didn't reach that. I think as long as you're able to say, you know what, it didn't reach my expectation, but I don't hate it for that. I recognize what it is instead and can represent it adequately.
And see, but that's the thing, Trey. People don't do that.
Yeah, no, you're right.
You might do that, but as a general, like, and generally, people don't do that. And I think that's also the problem.
So I don't just want to make this about our reviews because I put out a 10-minute review for New Gundam Breaker, but I didn't need to put anything more in there. That New Gundam Breaker is a terribly designed game. That's what I said. Designed game. And it needed more time in the oven. It needed more work. Just like Jump Force, this has been brought up in the chat. These are games that I think it is okay to play and then say, hey, here's my opinion on it. But you still need to be able to recognize the good. Jump Force has so many problems, but those moves look cool. They did a really good job with the moves themselves. That AI is broken, but the AI looks really cool when it is rubber banding, when it is reading inputs, and it is destroying your face. That AI looks cooler than you will ever look because it's always going to win, but it looks really cool. The soundtrack, not terrible. Not the best thing ever, but not terrible at all. There's a couple really good tracks in there. The hub is absolutely atrocious, but the vehicles in the hub are actually really fun. It's like you need to be able to offset it with the good and the bad, in my opinion.
Moral of the story: reviewers hate games.
Yeah, we should probably move on. But I want to read you one more from EGM, who gave it a 6 out of 10. Final Fantasy VII Remake manages to balance the introduction of new concepts with faithfully recreations of the original game's most memorable aspects, but it also unnecessarily pads out this first installment in a larger story with too much downtime between its most striking moments. That's not a terrible blurb.
No.
I haven't seen the game myself yet to know how much of that downtime is worthless, or if they just personally didn't enjoy the story. But that's a pretty good take. And so I wanted to end it off with a good review of a bad score, because I feel like so often it's just like, here's the terrible ones. Now, before we move on, I did want to bring up, because we talked earlier about the people that it felt like just didn't play the original game.
Yeah.
Pat, do you know what Final Fantasy VII is about?
No.
It is about a guy named Cloud who carries a huge sword. And a guy named Barrett who has a gun for an arm. Would you say Final Fantasy VII Original is grounded? Doesn't even know what any FF games are about? That is a good point. Eco-terrorist, that is also true. Would you say that it's grounded as a bunch of terrorists try to blow up a reactor that uses the core of the world to power it?
Totally. That's the most grounded game I've ever heard about.
A lot of the complaints that I've seen, and some of those reviews that we didn't read, were about how FF7 Original was grounded. But this new game, the remake, it's too anime.
First of all, it's a JRPG.
Yeah.
Second of all, it's Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Third of all, who cares?
I think it is
Games should be more anime because anime is great.
It is a ridiculous complaint to me to say that new game's too anime. Oh yeah, there's that one too. We got to get into that. The game's ruined because Tifa's breasts are smaller. What do you mean they're smaller? The game was a sprite-based game with 3D block models. You couldn't see them in the first place? Why are you so mad about it?
The fan art that I've been looking up for weeks had her titties bigger.
It bothers me so much. Because, like, there are good arguments and then there are misrepresentations. And it makes me so mad. The other big thing I wanted to mention is if you care at all about this game, you should probably get off the internet for a little while. Because even with stuff that's not coming for a long time, people, out of spite because they're not happy with the new one, are spoiling stuff that is in this already. Just because they can.
Damn childish.
Your tagline of the Full Spectrum
I'm not
podcast.
trying to get on this
Daddy
TED
needs
Talk.
big titties. The Full Spectrum podcast. Daddy needs big titties.
Big old pie, dog.
I mean,
I don't want to get on this.
Do we all need to get those Saitama Opie shirts?
We should.
From One Punch Man?
We should. Seriously though, like, that's one of the things that makes me the most upset, and I don't want to get on that soapbox.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to say much else. But people are just so fucking childish, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, grow the hell up. It is insert current year. Grow up. I
think the idea, this is like, we get on this every time too, with like games that were exclusives on one platform going to another platform. More people are going to be able to play a game that you love now. More people are going to be able to experience this game that you think is one of the greatest of all times. So what if it's not the exact same game? It never was going to be.
It's not the same console.
It never was going to be. You know, let people have fun with the game. If you don't like it, that's fine. I've long laundry list of complaints about Red Dead Redemption 2, but I have never said you are wrong for enjoying this game. I've never outright spoiled stuff at people just to make them not want to play the game. Because guess what? I despise that game. I love Arthur Morgan. Arthur Morgan is one of the best protagonists in video games in years. I despise that game, but it is okay if you love it. Because you liking it doesn't make me not liking it any worse or any better. I'm allowed to not like it. Andrew, I think you're muted. I'm allowed to not like it, and you're allowed to like it.
It's almost like it's your opinion.
Okay, hold on.
You've been muted for a while, I guess.
I'm so irritated. I've been trying to talk this whole time.
I was like, man, Andrew's quiet.
Yeah, I was
dog.
like, I just kept seeing him nod, and I was like, okay, yeah, he just must agree, I guess.
I've been trying to talk the whole time, and there was even a point where I was trying to talk, and every time I tried to talk, Pat would talk, and I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'm not part of the conversation. Just a Trey and Pat conversation, I guess. I don't know. I mean, every time I would try to be like, well, hold on, and this, or what about this? And Pat would be like, oh yeah, and this. I'm like,
Andrew,
Yeah.
would you like the floor? What are your thoughts?
please.
no, it's too late now. My thoughts are all in the moment.
He was over there. I could see you were muted, and I could see you saying big titties the whole time, big boobies, and I was laughing because I was like, why can't I hear him say big boobies?
So I said that, and I was like, I even responded to that when they said the new tagline. I was talking about how, like, yeah, I mean, I said it, it's
So-
officially part of canon.
Joel's got it in one here. Even if the new one sucks, you can still enjoy the original. It hasn't been retroactively ruined. I cannot stand the Disney Star Wars sequels. I think they're all terrible. Well, Force Awakens was okay. I think the other two are terrible. I think they're both objectively bad movies. But somebody likes them, that's fine. I can go back and watch Empire Strikes Back. I watched it with the kids the other day. Empire Strikes Back's a great movie. Return of the Jedi,
Oh,
top
yeah.
tier. We can watch that, whatever. It's fine. I still can't stand those movies. I won't watch them again ever if I can help it. But it's okay. If you want to watch it, watch it. I don't care. I watched Batwoman.
But it comes back to like, how does somebody else enjoying something affect your life that much?
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm saying. Just grow up. Like people. I'm about to do it again.
Well,
I'm
and
not gonna go. I'm not
I think
gonna go.
the other thing that doesn't help is that, and we haven't gotten this right, but other people have. The idea of because you said you think it's bad, you're telling people they can't enjoy it, and that's not true at all either. Just because I think it's bad doesn't mean you're wrong for enjoying it. There's a lot of, like I said, I watch Batwoman. There's a lot of stuff that I think is not good that I love. No, it's the Batwoman TV show on the CW, Joel. They don't care about their own continuity or plot. The special effects are bad. They don't make sense. There are characters that I'm pretty sure are just reading the script in scenes, but I love it. that's the best thing ever. Cat, that's my favorite thing so far. So, like, my point is, just because I say I don't like something doesn't mean you can't like it. Obviously, we're still able to both. Let's just put this out here. Pat really enjoys The Last Jedi. Pat thinks it's a good movie, and that's fair. He's allowed to think it's a good movie. I think it's a terrible movie, and that's fair. I'm allowed to think it's a terrible movie. We're still friends.
And honestly, the reason I like that movie, I think it's an enjoyable experience. I'm not
Sure.
saying that it fits the story perfectly. I'm not saying that it's like literally the best movie ever. But I just enjoyed the movie, and that's fine. Like there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Just like there's nothing wrong with people enjoying this version of this game. But because you can sit there behind your keyboard and type away and no one's gonna do anything because you have this magical barrier called the internet, you think you can be a tough dude with a 13-inch penis. It's still 4 inches, dog. So grow the fuck up.
We really do need to move on because we haven't even gotten to the sitting cuties. But
I'm so pissed off right now.
Joel, that's so good. Pat just said Last Jedi was the best movie ever and wants to set people's house on fire if they didn't like it. We'll do one more. And then we need to move on. I've been on record saying that I don't think that Super Mario Odyssey is a great game. I think it's a really fun game and a really enjoyable game.
Here we go.
Now Andrew's mad.
Here we
Get
go.
on the box.
But I don't personally really enjoy that game as much as other people do. I think there is a level of enjoyment. Andrew's got a rant off mic for a second. I think there's a level of enjoyment, but I didn't enjoy it anywhere near as much as Andrew did. But Andrew didn't enjoy Breath of the Wild as much as I did. We still had a moderate sized discussion on Game of the Year that year. We still had a good time with it. We don't need to get back into why I don't like Super Mario Odyssey, right?
No, we sure don't.
And look, I just want to be the first one to say the music in Super Mario Odyssey is incredible.
But how's the water?
It's pretty good, actually. And the way the
Wait,
water
you've not
works with
played
ice
Odyssey,
is
Pat?
really solid.
No, I've never played that game.
What?
Certified.
What?
That's why I didn't have an arm in that fight. I literally was just like,
For-
y'all go ahead, because I haven't played either one of these games.
Don't play it.
for anybody
Don't
that
play it
cares.
now.
What was that, 2017? Is that 2017?
Yeah.
2017's Game of the
No,
Year
it's not
has
that
like
old, is it?
has like a 3, like, I was gonna say 3 hour. It's not. It's like a 30-minute debate between me and Andrew about Andrew and I. I'm sorry, mother. About she does watch this sometimes. About
she does.
how Odyssey was better or Breath of the Wild was better, and it was a fun time. It was really fun. But regardless, we should probably move on, and it's time for our favorite segment of the week.
2 hours in.
Who's that sitting cutie?
Yeah. They sit and they're cute. Oh no, it's sitting cutie.
That's gotta be the thing from now on. Andrew's gotta sing the Sitting Cutie song.
Artaki, you think that's a dig, right? But Pat being the Krillin of the group, let's not forget, Krillin became the strongest human and married an android and somehow had a baby with her and was like the most popular man on Earth for a little while. Krillin's like top tier.
I need to shave my head and my face now.
Should do their commercials.
No, Pat's definitely Yamcha.
The coolest guy on the show.
Yeah, that's what I meant. For the couple,
If they didn't love Yamcha, they wouldn't have brought him back all the times. That's all I'm saying. They obviously loved him. You know what?
they hated.
Yamcha's got the worst luck. You know why? Because the love of his life, who, let's be real, he was kind of rough, mean too, bad too.
That's
He
true,
wasn't a
man.
great guy. But the love of his life not only left him, but then got with the person that killed
Look.
him and had a child with him.
Look, I'm as straight as a board, and I would get with Vegeta. That's all I'm saying.
I'm not saying I also wouldn't get with Vegeta, but the point that I'm trying to make is Yamcha's got it rough, dog.
Dude, they hate Yamcha enough that in Kakarot there is a side quest basically making fun of. There's multiple side quests making fun of Yamcha, and there's one making fun of him dying and how he died.
Joel said, whoa. Bulma did not marry a Cyberman.
Wow.
Hey, Pat, what type is our first sitting cutie?
I don't want to do this segment no more. This is almost as bad as seeing the pictures of the giant Yamcha statue.
I still have my Yamcha, too. He's back on the shelf back there. He's dead.
He's dead.
Of course he is.
The only
You want to play Dragon Ball Fighters and let me kick your ass?
No,
Yamcha again?
no, I don't. That
I will
donkey
stand
kick.
That donkey
That
kick,
donkey
for the
kick
rest
is
of the night.
broken.
I got the next unknown.
Okay.
It's the letter F.
Yeah.
I actually like the way that this one looks. a
Yeah, it
lot.
looks really good.
Super good. It's got a little loop there. I don't know if you can really tell.
So you can hang it up, I guess, right? No, there's a
No,
little
this
deal on
one right
top
here.
of it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, though. Like, why? I wonder why. That's interesting.
It's got this thing for hanging it up. For
Maybe
sure.
they didn't want it to look like a beak. So they gave it a
Maybe.
loop in there.
Maybe. Can we get an F in chat? Yeah, it's F.
F in the
That's
chat.
funny. And then I did spoil one last week, so I won't have you guess that one.
Oh, come on. People might have missed it.
I don't
Okay.
remember.
Andrew, you're
Yes.
good. Never mind. You're good.
I was
Okay,
about to say.
I'll do that one last then.
Oh, that's a good thought, Cat.
So let's see. Let me open it. Let me pull up the Bulbapedia
Doodle of a
again.
large-nosed dog.
Bulbapedia.
Welcome back, Will. Will, we're on to sitting cuties now.
This one will literally be the easiest one, most likely.
While Pat pulls that up, like, I used to be able to put what we were doing, what segment of the podcast on the screen. Streamlabs apparently hates the discussing tab now. So I can't do it. Every time I try, it breaks. And I'm not having any more technical difficulties tonight.
All right, so
Where are all
this
these Pokemon emotes come from?
don't worry about it. This first one that I'm gonna show is not the spoiler one that I spoiled last week.
Okay.
However, it is a starter Pokemon.
All right.
It is a grass type starter Pokemon.
First 3 generations as a reminder for everybody.
Yep.
I
Well,
don't
this one-
remember any of them besides Bulbasaur.
I can confirm that this one has been in literally every single game.
Every single game.
Every game.
All of them.
All the way up to Sword and Shield.
Including Black and White, which didn't have any of the original Pokemon in it until after you beat the game.
Including Black and White.
Okay. You sure it's not just in that Pokedex? It's available in that game.
I'm looking at moves for it specifically in the game, and it has different stats.
Because I feel like since it's a starter, it's probably been traded up to those other games, but it's not catchable in those games.
I mean, it says that it's in the game.
Okay, we'll find out.
I had to look up what the grass type was, but I have a guess.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like it's very unfortunately obvious.
It's a grass starter.
Chikorita?
I'm going to say, because everybody else is saying Bulbasaur. Andrew said Chikorita. I'm going
I
to
thought I already
say
had a Bulbasaur.
Artaka? Do we need to fight now? Chikorita is not the worst best one. Chikorita's great. Meganium's the worst one. Don't evolve your
Wait, I thought-
Chikorita.
Pat, don't you already have a Bulbasaur?
I have an 8-inch Bulbasaur.
Oh, no, it's
okay,
Bulbasaur
okay.
then. Yeah, never mind. It's Bulbasaur then.
I'm going to guess Chikorita.
Y'all ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1. Yeah, it's definitely Bulbasaur.
Yeah, okay.
So I don't hate this Bulbasaur, but they kind of like when they sewed the face on, they made an unfortunate crease there. So it
Yeah.
kind of looks creepy.
No, he's got a scar. He got into a fight when he was little, but now he's gotten better.
He
Yeah,
didn't
but they
get in
did a really
fight,
good
his
job with
father
the
beat
Spore.
him.
No, Andrew, no.
He's got a really good looking Spore though.
Chikorita's so good.
I'm a huge fan.
Just
I
as
love
a
Bulbasaur. He's my
reminder-
favorite starter.
Just as a reminder, too, for anybody who's like, you can't catch Bulbasaur in those later games, Bulbasaur can be traded up to those other games. And as a secondary reminder, Pat has not played every Pokemon game.
I'm just
quick
going
aside.
off what Bulbapedia says.
So,
So I'm probably wrong. It's fine. I'll just tell you what type it is.
it's not what I
and
meant.
hope. Just hope.
Yeah, I'm just an idiot. Yeah, I'll just shoot myself.
It's not what I meant at all.
I mean, I am an idiot.
I just don't want people to get mad at you.
Let them get mad at me.
Scarbasaur. Yes,
Look, no offense.
Yes,
to any
Pat!
of you people. What?
it's Scarbasaur. He's got a scar.
That's this Bulbasaur's nickname
Yeah.
as of right now.
Pat! Oh, Pat, I'm going to give you a headcanon and you're going to embrace it right away. Do you remember when Ash's Bulbasaur stopped to help all those other Bulbasaur? And that one got hit by a Vine Whip and was knocked back? That's Scarbasaur right there.
This is the
Yep.
reincarnation right here.
I mean, it didn't have to die. It could have just been him, but...
Don't worry about it. Anyways, I'm dying.
Oh.
All right.
You're going to reincarnate into a Bulbasaur next.
That would be amazing. My life would be amazing.
Scar with a stick from a Grookey. That's also possible.
Let's see. So,
Artaka Bulbasaurs live forever because Pokemon don't die. I don't care about the Lavender Tower. Pokemon don't die. Except in the manga where they do, but they don't.
I don't evolve my Bulbasaur. Don't hate me.
I don't evolve my Chikorita. So, well, I do into Bayleaf, but not into Meganium.
So,
Pokemon
trying
do.
to find a better Pokedex. 'cause
Pokemon do
it's giving
canonically
me
die.
information that I didn't really want.
I legitimately hate that Pokemon canonically die, but they do canonically die. It's a huge shame.
I don't like to talk about it.
Also,
Okay.
like, Yamask is like a dead person that came back as a Pokemon. We don't need to talk about it. It's good. Well, I'm just like leaned over, you know, I'm all cozy.
Are you cozy?
Well, this cable for my headphone is like stretched as taut as it can go, but yeah, I'm cozy.
Okay. This Pokemon is a fairy and water type Pokemon.
Oh, you've lost me. I have no idea. I didn't
Okay.
even know fairy was a type.
Fairy is in fact a type, yes. It's a hard counter for dragon type. I kind of low-key hate it.
It is the second
Yeah,
evolution
it's-
of the three.
It's the second of the three. It's a Meryl. 100%. It's a Peekaboo. 100%. Joel, Cat, both with me. We got it. It's Meryl. If it's the second of the
Sure, I'm
three,
gonna go
it's
with-
got to be Meryl.
Obviously.
Does anyone else have any other
Also,
guesses?
good peekaboo call out.
Yep.
Does anyone have any other guesses?
Just a quick Peekaboo aside. I had a guy on the playground tell me when I was little that if you run in circles for 2 hours straight and then surf straight down for Vermilion City, that you'll find a Peekaboo. I tried it 3 times.
It's a Marill.
Yeah! Show us that Meryl. Look at how cute it is.
Look at how great, and his tail
Yeah.
actually dangles.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, so it'll like sit on the table.
Ariel.
I actually really love Marill.
Yeah.
The tail
Marill's
is
really cute.
great. I love the tail. It's
Tail is
adorable.
great, yeah.
You get a
It's
lot of
adorable.
practice. Sounds like them, Cat. Yeah, Meryl's super cool. I love Meryl.
Then we got us a. Let's see.
I feel like you got more than 3.
Ripped my bank account. I do this. I would say I do this for y'all, but what was originally for everyone else is now literally an addiction. I don't want to talk about how much I've spent because the amount has gone up significantly since the last time we talked about it. This Pokemon.
I can't say anything.
No, you can't. I refuse to accept
I
anything that you
can.
have to say.
Andrew, how many Lego sets you got over there?
Shut up.
So this is a ground
have
type
that many.
Pokemon.
Ground type.
So
Okay.
What about
Ground type.
Batman? Batmobile. in Lego set form. Who cares?
It does have one evolution.
It's
This is the
Diglett.
first
It's
version.
Diglett. You 100% got Diglett. I know you too well.
Yeah. Diglett dig, trio.
You know what's a great game?
Um,
Pokemon Snap.
Yes.
Yeah.
They should redo that game. Like bring it back, put all the Pokemon in it. All of them. Every single one.
Oh, Joel's
Ruined my
right. It
life.
could be Cubone. It really could. Oh my gosh.
Ruined my entire life by putting every single Pokemon in a brand new Pokemon Snap game.
I'm gonna tell you.
And make it better. I have to use my phone to take the pictures and they're out in real life. You got me. I'm in. It's better than Pokemon Go.
I mean, I would rather it be on the Switch, but I gotta tell you right now, if they make a new Pokemon Snap and they don't have every Pokemon in it, I'm gonna be real mad.
Yeah. I want to see all the Pokemon.
I want to take
I
a
want-
picture of Vanillish.
I want Pokemon Go, but instead I'm taking pictures of Pokemon and they're doing things in the world.
I want,
Yeah,
I
don't go
want
out
a
right now.
Full,
Jid's right. Don't go out right now to take pictures of Pokemon.
I want a full open world adventure game where you're a photographer and you get to go out in the wild and you gotta stealth around and you gotta take these
Yes,
huge shots of
please.
Pokemon.
So Pokemon Go, except it's an actual like Do you
So-
move around? as the-
No, because it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be a mobile game. It's gonna be bad.
Cat says Pokemon Go has Pokemon Snap elements in it now where you can take pictures of the Pokemon.
I could, but I see them ahead of time. I want to have to like
I see
actually
what
have
you're
the
saying.
camera out.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
like, walking around and looking around the screen for Pokemon.
That will never happen for one specific reason. You have to be walking around looking just at your phone. They will never be able to do that without getting in trouble.
Who cares? Who cares?
Cars, pedestrians.
They already
old
have
ladies.
people going into other people's house going, hey, there in your backyard there's a Charizard. Can I hop
Yeah,
your fence?
and that was a big problem.
Look, officer, I know I have a chance of getting the Rona, but there's a Zapdos over there, and I will take the risk. I will take the risk for the Zapdos.
And then the officer's like, "There's a Zapdos? Yeah, I'm in. Let's go."
Exactly. And then they get you in the car with them and they drive to it.
Say no
Anyways.
more.
The rules have changed.
Numal, I think, is
The rules have changed.
Joel. I think Numal's Fire Rock, isn't he? Or is he just Fire and then Camera Up's Fire Rock?
Oh yeah, we're doing this still.
Yeah.
Ground type Pokemon.
Yes.
Okay, redo all your guesses. Put all of them in chat again. Put all of them in chat
Okay.
again. Sorry.
Dude,
I still think
want
it's
to pick
Diglett.
Cubone.
I think it's Diglett. Andrew's on
Diglett,
Cubone.
Cubone. Anybody else got some option? Diglett and Cubone. Another Cubone. I'm gonna do a 5-second countdown.
Okay. You need the axe.
5. Yeah, you can do the axe. Do the
Okay.
axe. Do the axe. It's perfect. A bunch of Cubones.
There's a
I
Trap
was
Inch.
just Trap
Joel's got Trap Inch.
We got a Diglett. Yeah, it
You
can't
may
be
go, Pat.
because it's the first evolution.
Pat, it said you could go.
It's Sandshrew.
Oh! He got us all.
And look how adorable it is.
He got us all. How did none of us think of
Look at that.
Sandshrew? Literally, none of us said Sandshrew.
I
Look how
completely
adorable.
forgot about Sandshrew.
Look how adorable Sandshrew
He
is.
is very cute. That is a very cute
Amazing.
Sandshrew.
Amazing. I love this one.
Yeah,
This one-
Sandslash is super cool.
Sandslash is available right now. It was originally out of stock, so we'll see how that goes.
Oh,
And last but not least, if you were here for
Five.
the podcast,
Yeah,
last
5.
Don't worry about it. I spoiled one of them last week, and I felt bad, so I ordered another one. And one of
You
them
got
was,
us all with Sandshrew, so
and one of them was Bulbasaur, which was clearly for me.
yeah.
So I had to come through. Okay,
The perfect Pokemon
was it
is so
$60? Yes, it was $60.
I
Do
just
I
wanna-
care?
I just want to throw out
No.
here, because Joel brought it up. If you have not yet seen The Perfect Poker Rap by Brian David Gilbert, you absolutely should. The Perfect Poker Rap is incredible. I'm
Never
not a
seen it.
huge fan of Polygon's reviews, but Brian David Gilbert is consistent with amazing content.
the rules have changed.
Last but not least, we got a Ghost Poison Pokemon. That probably immediately gave it away
Band is already guessing on Twitch with the
Yeah.
emote.
because it has an entire sticker. I ruined it last week. I feel bad. If you missed it last week and you wanted to guess,
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Back in stock, baby.
I'm so sorry. However, I originally was going to get Gengar for Andrew as a gift, but it was out of stock. And little did I know, it is back in stock.
Yep.
And
There's the Gengar.
look at your
There's
boy.
the Gengar.
Look at him. It's got the
Gengar.
spikes on the back and
Yeah,
everything.
look at him.
Yeah.
Look at him, man.
He's even got a little bitty tail.
Yeah.
I just realized Gengar's voice sounds a lot like Spike Lee's voice.
Gengar.
Spike Lee.
Yep.
Hey,
So-
everybody, it's me, Gengar.
We're gonna get sued one of these
Oh,
days.
yeah. Spike Lee's going to find me, and he's going to take me for everything I've got.
He'll be so mad that the Knicks won't let him go in through the locker room that he's gonna be like, "Oh, Trey, I'm gonna
Trey.
sue you."
No, I'm sorry. You got to say it right. It would be, Trey, I'm going to sue you because I'm Spike Lee, and I'm a friend of Freak.
Friend of freak.
So these
That's
two
so bad.
are going to Trey and Andrew. As
Yeah,
soon as the
that's my
coronavirus is
boy.
over.
My
I will
Dragonite
spray
right
them
there.
down with Lysol, and hopefully they will make it safely.
Pat, we have a question for you from the chat. Cat is typing it out right now, I believe.
I am very nervous as to what this question is going to be.
If you don't, I'm gonna be very disappointed with you. Pat, do you ever sit there surrounded by all your Pokemon plushies and make them have Pokemon battles?
I didn't want people to know that I was doing that.
I mean, you have to, right?
Look at this. Look at this.
You gotta have a Ghastly now too.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not keeping the Gengar. I'll have to buy another.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, the Gengar's going to Andrew. That's a good point.
Guess I'm buying another one.
I'll take the Haunter too.
All
Hey,
right.
Gengar's back in stock, so
Well, that was another exciting episode of Who's That Sittin' Cutie? And if you want to see more Sittin' Cuties, you can support us over at Patreon.
hey, we should make a specific
Tier.
one. On
We
where, like,
should.
if you
We
hit this
should.
tier, this is where you start being able to say you're donating.
Yeah. Oh, Cat's
you
right.
wanna
We gotta
donate-
have the song again.
Andrew, you got it. Go.
Man. Subsidizing
Well, I
Pokemon
forget how it was.
addiction.
It was like
Thank you
they're
for those
sitting
cheers.
and they're cute. Oh no, it's a sitting cutie.
Yeah, that's it, I believe. Band, thank
Oh.
you for continuing to subsidize the Pokemon addiction with all those bits. We appreciate it.
This is the part of the podcast where I desperately try to stay on topic while ordering more sitting cuties.
So, let's talk about some news. Also, as a quick aside, if you collect something like that, you have to play with it, right? Like that's just how it works.
So, real quick, as an outro, I guess I should say. So on the website, I've been trying to think of things I can put on there. What I'm gonna start doing, and I don't care if some people think this is dumb. I'm excited. I'm gonna start putting sitting cuties in random places and taking pictures of them, and they will all be up on the website slowly but surely. So if you want to see the sitting cuties doing weird things, like Haunter and Gengar sitting on my pillow waiting for me to go to sleep so they can haunt my dreams,
Yes, Dream Eater.
it'll happen. It'll
Hey.
be all on the website, so look forward to that.
Don't forget, Dream Eater's not a bad thing. There was a Gengar in the anime that ate the bad dreams of a child, so the child would only have good dreams.
Well, maybe I need to set them by my bed
Yeah.
because I have nightmares all the time.
Gengar are wholesome and good and wonderful and perfect.
Oh, it'll be wholesome. It won't be weird. Like I say weird, and I mean it not weird.
Pat's gonna have a picture of the Meryl in the shower with its head turned slightly like, oh.
but like the shower curtains
Yeah,
covering
yeah.
half its body.
It was a Clefable. Oh, I love that theory so much that Clefable becomes Gengar. I love that so much. 'Cause they're the same. They look exactly the same. We should.
But
move on.
yeah. So look forward to that. I'll try to post them soon. I'm gonna start working on that soon. I just need to get the website to a point where it's like, this is what I want it, and then after that, I will start adding other stuff like that. So
Oh, Andrew's right. We really need to see Dragonite holding a mug. That would make my year.
I will make that happen. I will legit buy a Pokemon coffee mug. Y'all just start talking. Just start
All
talking.
right.
What you gotta do is get a Gengar coffee mug. He's holding the Gengar.
Yes.
Gengar is sitting inside the Gengar coffee mug.
Anyway,
I'm about to spend a lot of money.
we'll move on to game announcements and then the news. Disco Elysium is coming to the Switch.
Yeah.
I have no idea how that's gonna work, but
I don't either. I mean, I played a lot of that game with my Steam controller.
Yeah.
Just to try it out, and it actually worked really well with a Steam controller because it has a little trackpad on it, so you can swipe around just like a mouse.
yeah,
I don't know how that's going to work on a Switch.
for sure.
I mean, I guess
I'm
move
curious,
the
too.
analog stick around, but it's going to be slow.
Also, just a quick aside, because Adri brought it up in the chat. If you haven't seen it, Adri makes some really good art on Twitter. Check that
Yes.
out.
Very much so.
Made a wonderful Dragonite on there. You should look at that. It's good stuff. And yeah,
Very much so.
I want it to play really well on the Switch because I've barely touched it again on PC since my first impressions video, and I feel like I would play more of it on the Switch, you know?
Yeah.
Because I could take it. I could take it to bed, I could take it when I'm cooking, and I could play it, you know? Because that game is very text heavy. And my problem, I don't know anybody else that has this problem at all, of my mutuals on Twitter, but my problem is if I'm at my computer and I'm rendering footage or I'm recording footage, there are times where I'm like, it's been like 10 minutes since I've looked at Twitter. Do I have any people sending me news for the podcast on Twitter? Let me check. And then I get caught up in all kinds of other stuff. And so it's harder for me to get focused on, like, even like visual novels I have a really hard time focusing on now because I'm at my desk and that's where all my work is done. So it all just takes over, you know? But if it was on the Switch, it wouldn't have a choice because that would be in my hands. So from there, we'll go into some of the news. Some of this news is silly because it's a really slow news week. I'm going to be honest with you. Again, I'm kind of glad we had all these issues with the chat and everything today because we were able to just have a lot of fun. Bungo to Alchemist is a mobile game in Japan that I didn't know anything about before all this happened, but it's getting an anime. And the anime is Funimation's doing the subs for it. And the bad guys in that game are called Shinsokoku, which is like a Shinto priest that's been corrupted. It's the idea of like good that's turned bad. They're tainted, right? Is what it almost exactly translates to. Funimation decided to call them taints.
Yeah.
Instead of the tainted, they are the taints.
Great word. Great word.
I
totally what that means.
a taint, right? I'm okay.
That is amazing.
I'm okay. I'm all right.
Wow.
So this, I don't understand how this got past. How this got past anybody.
Yes.
How did anyone sign off on that and go, that's a good choice? You should go with that and not tainted. Because it's the exact translation is tainted, basically. The exact translation, basically. Good job, Trey. Point is, that was just a fun little thing. Noticed it, was like, okay. No Man's Sky is adding exomechs. These look really cool.
Okay.
The only concern I have is that they won't, like, I don't know yet if they're transportable with your ship or not. Because if they are, that's great and will be amazing, and you'll be able to like transport them to other worlds and use them to explore the new worlds when you get there. But if they're not, then
It
what?
sucks.
Yeah, what's the point?
Yeah.
You know? So I guess we'll find out more. They just dropped a trailer that didn't really have any information in it, but the mechs looked cool, and you can mine from the mech, so that's really cool.
They move kind of slow.
They do move kind of slow, but there's a jump with a little boost, so I'm kind of excited for it. I haven't touched No Man's Sky again since release, basically, and they made a bunch of changes to make that game better, and I've always been planning on going back to it, but I really didn't like it at release, and so this might be enough to make me to dip back into it. But I need to know that you can transport the mechs, because otherwise, again, what's the point? But we'll see.
Yeah.
Then unfortunately, we do have some more COVID-19 news. I don't really like talking about it anymore because everybody knows about it, you know, and nobody likes it, as nobody should. But Sero is shutting down right now for COVID-19. Sero is the Japanese version of the ESRB. And so this is not like an office or a studio shutting down. This is, with Sero down and nobody doing that work, games will not get rated and games will not come out.
Yeah.
So this is not just one studio that's been affected. This is every studio has been hit by this. And I get it. I don't blame Sero one bit. Sero has to take care of their people. And I respect that they're trying to take care of their people. But it does mean there will be games that just will not come out for a while. So please keep that in mind when more games get delayed, especially Japanese games. And if the ESRB does this as well, then we'll see more delays on our end as well.
Yeah.
Just keep that in mind. But again, I have so much respect for Sero for saying, you know what? This is going to cost us a lot of money. This is going to cost a lot of people a lot of money, but we got to take care of our people. From there, oh yeah, I did see that. Jen, there's a new version, like a remaster of Digimon Adventure, the anime, coming from Toei. That could be really good. I liked the original Digimon a lot. Not my favorite season, but I liked it a lot. Sea of Stars is an upcoming RPG, and they have gotten Yasunori Mitsuda to compose some songs for their game. If you don't recognize that name, Yasunori Mitsuda. I can't speak tonight, apparently. Yasunori Mitsuda is the composer for Chrono Trigger. And Chrono Trigger has an incredible soundtrack. So if we get stuff like Beyond the Time or At Time's End or the Carnival or Gato's theme, Sea of Stars already had a composer, so he's still going to be doing the majority of the work, but having Mitsuda come in to cover with him is going to be really cool. From there, we got some rumors on RE8. Andrew, did you get to see these?
I did not get to see these.
So, Resident Evil Village is what the rumors say it's going to be, with VILL being the 8.
Okay.
Which is a pretty cool title, honestly. It's supposed to be set in like a Hungarian-style village in the mountains. Supposedly will feature Chris as the main character. I say rumors because we still don't know for sure, but it was a lot of specific information. And so I'm a little bit more prone to believe it. Obviously, still take it with a grain of salt. But that's a good name. And I think a Chris game centered in like a village full of like enemies and trying to figure out your way around there with puzzles, that could be really good. So I'm kind of excited to see that. If it's true. I hope that it is. But. And then finally, we have the new PS5 DualSense controller shown by Sony today. It does feel like a natural evolution. So, do you guys want me to go first? Because I'm on record already on Twitter of saying that I'm not super fond of it so far.
No. I showed it to Courtney as well, and she basically like, what is that thing?
I think, and I'll be honest, I think the big thing that I keep coming back to is the two tones. Another mutual of mine on Twitter, a really nice guy, Yazi, made a really good point of if you don't like this color, that's okay. Just like Microsoft, I guarantee you they're going to be selling more colors. And he's right. They're definitely going to be selling more colors in this thing. I think if there's like a pure black one, it'll look better.
Yeah.
I don't like those colors. I don't like that it has a built-in mic. I really, again, that could be nothing, right? That could be no problem at all. But I worry that it's going to default to on in lobbies and things like that. And also, do you remember when the Kinect came out? And the Kinect defaulted to on, and then you would play a game like Alien Isolation if you had, or not Isolation. Alien Isolation wasn't out with the Kinect. Those games had completely different dev cycles. What game was it that was a horror game that if you had the Kinect plugged in, it heard you?
I don't remember.
I know there was one, but I can't remember what it was called.
I remember it happening, but I don't remember what game.
Yeah, there was a game that was a horror game that if you played it with the Kinect on, the game would hear you through the Kinect as if you were wearing a mic. And whether you recognize, you had to unplug your Kinect to make it stop doing that. And I don't like the idea of the controller hearing you all the time, right?
Yeah. Well, and that's also how for PlayStation VR.
Yeah.
The camera by default,
Mm-hmm.
the microphone is on.
Yeah.
It's always going.
Yeah.
I found out the hard way playing multiplayer games. People started asking me what I was talking about.
Yeah. The other big problem is, and this has been a problem with game lobbies since Xbox 360, right? You get into a lobby, and there's that one guy that has his mic on, and he doesn't realize he's got his mic on, or he doesn't care, and he's playing super loud music, or he's arguing with his wife, or he's arguing with his mom, and it's just like, come on, man, turn your mic off. And if they're on
Yeah.
by default, I really don't like that, you know? I get where they're coming from of the idea of, now you never need to have a mic. But they literally say in their blog post that for long sessions, you're probably going to want a microphone anyway. So, then why? I don't know. It just feels weird to me. I like the adaptive feedback. I like
It's
the
shaped
haptic
weird.
feedback. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the way it's shaped. I like the extra battery life. I think that sounds really good. But I don't know.
I'm assuming I'm the only person that likes this controller.
You're not the only. There's a lot of people on Twitter that love it. They say it looks cool and futuristic, and
Also, yeah, it looks futuristic, I guess, but that doesn't mean that's necessarily a good thing just because it looks futuristic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cat likes it.
I'm glad I'm not alone because I do like the design. I think it looks very interesting.
It so does look like Marvin from Hitchhiker's Guide. It so does.
I don't know what that is.
Look up Marvin from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
I don't know why it has to be white. I'm assuming the PlayStation itself is white, which is weird.
Yeah, that it has to be, right? If that's the default color, I would think it would have to be. Also,
I don't know.
Go ahead, Pat. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, me personally, I think that it looks really interesting. I do like the way that it looks. The two-tone does not bother me in one bit. I like the way that the lights come up around the side.
I think the lights on the side's really cool. Yeah.
I think that looks fantastic. I wish they would have showed a back angle.
I absolutely wish we got shots
the
from
back of the controller, from what I can tell from this image, is also white. The only black part of this controller is the buttons on the top, and then this black strip right there.
It's really weird.
I personally like it. I do think it's very interesting looking, and who knows? Maybe the PS5 is not black. Maybe it's white as well. I mean, maybe it is black. I mean, who cares? I'm super excited. I think. Oh, I do see a back image.
Oh, is there? I couldn't find a back image earlier, but they might have uploaded one later.
I've got one right here.
I don't think. Go ahead.
I don't know. Let me put this on the screen.
I don't think a white PS5 would be a bad thing. It would be very hypocritical for me to say that a white console would look bad when the PlayStation 1 was like that pearl gray. But it feels really weird for Sony if it's not black. Like that has been their go-to, you know?
Black boxes.
I don't know. I think maybe if the back of it was black too, it wouldn't bother me as much. Like if the black wrapped around the back of the controller, you know?
Yeah, because it's only in the front. This little strip right here.
Why?
I don't know. I like it.
You know what I think would look better personally? And this is just a personal subjective thing. I think if the touchpad was still black, it would make it look a little bit more... Because then it would be black in the middle and white on the outside. It would look like a reverse Oreo.
Yeah.
But as
love
Kat
the way
says in
this
the
looks.
chat, with Bravery and Primer, you can customize the color of any controller you want.
That's very true.
Oh.
But yeah, I see, and it looks like the
light bar
touchpad
goes
is-
through. Yeah.
Yeah, man. And the buttons look clear.
They do.
Man, I jive with it. I think it's awesome personally. I mean, I will say I completely understand. I like how I'm talking.
It's
with
not a dual shot.
It's definitely not a DualShock. It is definitely not
Dual
that.
shape.
DualSense is what they've got.
110%
There you go.
understand people not liking the controller. I understand the people saying like, why did they go away from the original design? I completely get it. And something tells me that they will be making controllers that have the original design that people can use. I feel like that's definitely going to be
Sell them for a premium.
It's probably what's going to happen.
And it won't work with all games because games will use the
That haptic
DualSense
feedback, yeah.
technology. Yep.
Something tells me, and it might just be me, something tells me this controller is going to be something special. I'm super hyped. I love the way that it looks.
Despite
Something tells me this controller is going to be very expensive if you want a second one.
Yeah, probably.
Like 150.
You
Like it's
can
going to be
only-
like the Elite controller.
You can only get the Sony Classic controller if you subscribe to Sony's new streaming service.
There you go.
Joel's got it. Despite all my complaints, all I really need from this controller, it's all I've ever wanted, is better battery life and a controller that feels good. So if it feels good and it has the longer battery life they're saying that it has, that's fine with me. I don't care what it looks like anymore. I can put up with anything. Like Kat said, I can paint it. I can order a custom one from somebody. I could get a Conrad or double one like I have for my Joy-Cons. But I need it to feel good and I need it to have a better battery life. That's all I need. PS4 battery life
is a big thing.
I need that.
Big thing. Like the PS4 controller battery life is poop.
However,
Yeah.
I fully agree with Kat. It's current year, as Pat would say. It's 2020. Why can we not just have one controller that works on everything?
I will
can
say
use-
They have it. They have it. Just not everybody allows the use of it. It's called a keyboard and mouse.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
so. Here's the two current controllers.
What about the
And-
Steam Link?
The Steam Link? You mean the Steam controller?
That's what I meant.
And personally, oh, thank you. I also have a red see-through one and a white one.
Yeah, on my desk I have a PS4 controller, an Xbox One, regular controller, and a Steam controller.
I mean, if we're doing this,
I disagree with the Xbox One agreement. Argument. I don't think that it looks like an Xbox One controller.
these are the only two controllers I use.
It looks more like that than it does a DualShock.
I think it looks more closely to maybe the Switch controller. But even
Excuse
then,
me,
I
sir.
don't.
This is one of the
That's-
best controllers ever made.
It's a pretty good controller.
The Pro controller.
I don't have the Pro controller. I have the standard controller, but this one is a Mario
Headset.
Odyssey controller, even though I don't have Mario Odyssey.
Wow, what a piece of shit.
I legitimately, the Xbox One is not in this room right now, and I don't even know where that controller is.
I had somebody tell me today, and I like this person. I just disagree with them.
Uh-oh.
They tried to tell me that the Xbox One controller fits in your hands perfectly because Microsoft did this study and it was like supposed to fit perfectly. I don't like the way that this controller fits in my hand at all.
I think the 360 controller still fits better than the Xbox One controller.
I
Yeah.
don't like the way this controller sits in my hand at all. I would much rather be holding a PS4.
Corporate wants me to tell the difference between the Xbox One DualShock DualSense and Pro controller. Also, just a quick shout out to Band's comment of $something seems to be stopping them from having a single controller for all consoles, but I can't quite figure out what. Do you guys
At
know
least
what it
they're
is?
finally moving towards cross-plat. Can we just be happy? with
Little
that?
by little, we're taking the steps.
We're
Yeah.
so close to something amazing right now. Just keep going in that
We
direction.
just
everybody.
need people not to back up. We need them to just keep moving a little bit more forward.
Please.
Just a little bit more, and all consoles will be able to talk to each other for crossplay. So close. But I have this
So-
terrible feeling that somebody's going to go, well, if you'll give us a little bit more money, then we'll do cross-platform with you. And I'm like 90% that's going to be Sony.
I would gladly pay an extra service if it meant that I always got to get into a party with my Xbox friends and it wasn't an issue.
Not even just that. Do you know how much more life games would get if they didn't have to be split between different consoles?
It
Like-
would make so much more money.
I go back every single time to Titanfall 2. Titanfall 2, a game that still has a dedicated fan base on console and does not on PC. The PC players would have probably kept playing if they had been able to play with people on console.
Yup.
Anyway, that's all the news that I had for today. Do you guys have any more thoughts about the DualSense controller?
No, but I am really sad that Sitting Cuties website is having issues and I can't order Sitting Cuties right now. So we might not have Sitting Cuties next week.
We'll find
No,
out.
no, we have to have sitting cuties. Come on, Pat.
We'll
that's
find
like
out.
a staple now.
I will try to
Don't
reorder
worry.
them again.
Viewership will have if we don't have Sitting Cutie segment.
Yeah.
But this means that if I don't get them this week, I'll order twice as much the next week. I'll
So-
have like 10 sitting cuties in one box.
You guys have any plugs?
Yes.
You have a plug?
I guess he has a plug.
I think the website loaded, but sure.
Yeah, the fullspectrumpodcast.com. That is my plug. It's
Oh.
selfless and I don't care. I spent time on it and I like it
Hey,
and
that's
I
fine.
want other people to enjoy it.
That is fine.
That's the only way you're going to see the sitting cuties
Also the podcast.
and my Twitter.
Yeah. Also the rest of the
Well, no, I mean like the pictures of the sitting cuties.
I got you. Yeah, I got you.
He's getting the big head now, Trey. The big head about damn sitting cuties again.
Andrew, you have any plugs?
You know, I always start the podcast with a plug in my mind, and by the time we finally get around to the end of the podcast, no matter where that path goes, somewhere along the way I lose it. So
Hey.
I'm sure it was something Easy Allies related.
I have to point out, we hit that Patreon tier last year to have longer podcasts. And,
Yep.
you know, sometimes we lose out on plugs because of it, but we gain back in jokes. So I feel like it works out.
Yeah. Oh, this was definitely work. I mean, it was a great podcast.
This has been my favorite podcast in a long time, and I'm leaned all the way over with my chair against the desk beside me, with the cable stretched out at full length. And I've had so much fun in this podcast.
It's been great.
Ori and the Will of the Wisp, the game after 25 days. Yeah, so Jim, this is just a quick thing Jim was messaging me about earlier. Jim was having issues with the game with a bug, and after 25 days, they have fixed it, and now Jim is able to enjoy the game again. So, devs, thank you first off, not just those devs, but like all devs for like your bug fixes. But also, don't ever think people like have given up just because the bug's not fixed. Fix it, and people will come back to play your game if it's a good game. I had a plug too, and I sure have forgotten it. Oh, my plug is a really cool thing that happened. Where with all this stuff going on with the virus and everything, Tokusatsu, you guys know how much I love Tokusatsu. Various Tokusatsu actors have tweeted out in character to tell kids and even adults that like, hey, it's gonna be all right. We're gonna get through this. Just hold on. And so you have like the actor that played Kamen Rider Zeronos in Den-O being like, Deneb and I are here for you. Just hold on. You know, we got this. And I thought that was really cool. I have not seen the One Piece one yet. I need to see that. Robin tells you to wash your hands. That's great. So yeah, just hold on. Hold strong. We're going to make it through this. We just all have to do our best to be safe. I know I'm not the actor that played Eiji in Kamen Rider O's, but believe me when I say we're going to make it through this. Just hold tight.
Yeah. It'll just be a while.
Yeah.
I'll never go back to work, apparently.
Well, all will eventually. So, with all that said then, I'm Trey.
I'm Andrew.
And I'm Patrick.
I forgot to talk about what's coming up on the channel this week. There'll be a Neo video for the mid-game impressions of Neo 2. There will be the video on the new what's it called? FF14 Solo Duty. That'll be going up. And then at some point we'll also be doing the Persona video whenever I get far enough in the game to record some stuff. To answer your question, Kat, doing good. Just staying inside as much as possible. But until next time, remember to always enjoy the full spectrum life has to offer. I'm gonna reach. I think I can just barely hit the end stream button from here while still being on screen.